about to catch some trades and about to do a breakdown as well, so make sure you guys don't miss out on this free opportunity. Was that good?
Yeah,
Yeah, all right.
getting used to this.
First take.
Was it first take?
Of course that was first take. I definitely did not mute the mic and done it 20 times, I promise you. Opportunity.
That's
We're just going
true.
First and the
live on
only
YouTube
take.
now. Make sure you the
First
only
and
take.
only.
You see,
Ooh,
it came from the heart, so it be real.
look at my giant coffee bigger than me.
Man, the girl at the Starbucks knows my name. As soon as she sees me, she starts making my cup. It's crazy.
That's
Hey, my brother,
cute.
how are you? Welcome everyone on the YouTube live stream. You guys ready for today? I'm gonna do some damage. Hopefully no consolidations today. You guys can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Alright, that's great, that's great, that's great, that's great. Amazing stuff. Guys, we're just going live on YouTube now. Make sure you guys tune in. About to catch some trades and about to do a breakdown as well. So make sure you guys don't miss out on this free opportunity. Okay, let's get it. Welcome YouTube live stream. Let's get it, man. We're about to do a breakdown now. Gold looks amazing today. Exciting day. You guys gotta understand one more thing as well. We had a consolidation yesterday, so the day yesterday was very choppy, ranging as well. So today we're gonna see some nice moves. So I'm definitely upping my risk and looking to capitalize on some big trades today. So let's just do our breakdown now. We'll give another couple minutes for some people to tune in, and yeah, let's quickly just first thing first, we need to check Forex Factory, understand if we have any sort of news events coming up, and it seems like we have a news event coming up at 1:45. And then we have one coming up in another couple minutes as well, actually. So this is in the next it's at 12:15 actually. Oh, so it's not far at all. So we got this news event coming up soon, guys, in the next 7 minutes basically. And then obviously after that our session starts 15 minutes after this news event. So this should not affect us, but in a way this should be beneficial to us, because then we can kind of like catch the correction of this move, if that makes sense, right? And then we got another move around 2 o'clock. That's your 4 hour open. So yeah, exciting day today. Honestly, two opportunities in the markets. First opportunity when our session opens, second opportunity with the 4 hour open. So there we go. Let's do our breakdown. Again, going back to our charts, we understand what's happening on the gold, right? On the higher time frame, we are within this uptrend, and then at this point now, we've tried to kind of like correct this whole thing back, but in a sustainable manner. We do understand that. Try breaking down numerous times to violate the structure laws, which are all the way here. In order for us to break out of the uptrend sort of like structure, it needs to break the structure where it started from, right? So look, it's not broken the structure laws just yet. It attempted to 1, 2, 3 times. So at this point now, what's happening is, you gotta understand, we're starting to form higher highs and higher lows once again on the weekly time frame. Look at that. You see the structure over here is forming higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows, higher highs, and then guess what, again higher lows. So at this point now, look at the way the daily candle is rejecting as well. So let's quickly go back and clean everything and start from the scratch, because we do understand what's happening on the higher time frames. Let's just see if we can make sense out of it on lower time frames. Look at the daily candle at this point now. How much has it moved? All the way to the downside. It's moved about 100 pips. And look at the wick to the top side as well. We do understand that gold likes to move about 200 pips in one direction. Okay, so what's this candle done now? It's come all the way down to this level and it's rejecting. Is this an area of significant? Looking to the left, yes it is. You can see numerous rejections around this level. When price does reject from this level, it comes all the way up to this level. So this will be the next level usually price comes up to, even if it turns into your pullback area, right? See, it turns into your support area over here. Price broke out of it, turned into your support area, and at this point now, this is where we got the next bit of a rejection from, just around here, right? So we're gonna definitely keep that in our mind. And look at that, that's our resistance level on the daily time frame. So that's amazing for you. That's amazing for you, right? So now at this point now, you guys can understand how much range do we have from the top side of the candle all the way up to the resistance. That's only 54 pips, and we do understand that gold can move about 200 pips in one direction. So now in order for us to execute on something like this, we need to go down on lower time frames and see what is happening, right? Let's go on the 4 hours. Okay, look at the 4 hours now. Look what's happening. Very clean price action all the way to the downside.
grabbing liquidity right here. This is kind of where you have your liquidity. You got to keep that in your mind as well. This is you violating a structure right here. So at this point now, this becomes your liquidity area, right? You got to understand that. And at this point now, this was the last bit of a rejection from here. Price went all the way back up and formed a new high. But again, look at this, formed up a double top on the 4-hour time frame. Look at this. This was your first rejection, second rejection. Oh, hold on a second. Literally second rejection from the same exact area, just right there. So at this point, you guys gotta understand, you're forming a double top up here on the 4-hour time frame. That is very strong, and you're also violating the structure laws. So at this point now, you're coming all the way down to literally the support area, and then from there bouncing all the way back up. So what could be a reasoning for this? Or the reasoning for this could be that something like this was very, very explosive. At that point, price had to come all the way back up to correct this. So this was kind of like your attempt to create the next leg down, right? But price has to do that in a sustainable way. So at this point now, our jobs as traders is to understand, can we start violating this structure here that we have? Can we start closing above this? Can we start forming this into some sort of support area? On the 4-hour, you can see this is a very strong area, right? Usually price comes all the way up to this area. From there, you get those rejections all the way back down, right? So looking at the area, look at that, it matches literally with our zone. So now at this point, our job becomes as traders to understand, are we going to start closing above this area, or are we going to start rejecting from here? So this will be our range, right? So we got to understand that this is our range now on the 4-hour. So at this point now, you know you got your news kicking in the next 2 minutes. So in the next 2 minutes, you're expecting to see something. Either price is going to go all the way downside, all the way to the downside, or it's going to push all the way to the top side. Now let's say if it goes all the way up and it starts to violate these structure highs that we have over here, at that point we can start forming up new highs, right? Because this is your daily high. You got to keep that in your mind. And above this, we do understand what the level we are looking for is. So let me just quickly show you. The daily highs is literally right here. So it's literally above your the daily highs are right there. That's where you have your zones as well, right? So literally above this, it's about 53 pips. And then once we start clearing that, look, you understand one thing. If you start clearing this, you're aiming for the wicks. The wicks are all the way up there. So you got a very clean range to the top side. Is about 100 pips from the current price action. Look at that. See that, right? And we do understand that gold can move about 100 pips in one direction. And look, there is also no upper wick either. You go understand this upper wick here is not sustainable whatsoever. Our wick's got to be at least about 10 to 15 pips on a daily candle. At that point, you're understanding like, okay, price did form higher highs and higher lows, or lower highs, and then they were retested numerous times, and then they held. And at that point, we started to have some sort of consistent push down in a sustainable manner. But when you see something like that, you got to understand that's just momentum pushing the price all the way down, creating those lows, retesting structure lows, and at that point you're going to see the reversal, right? So let's quickly go back to the daily time frame again. Try and make sense out of this. Okay, cool. This candle here, that's your liquidity candle. What did this candle do? It came all the way down to retest structure lows, right? Look at that. From here, you can see every single time we reject from this area, where does price come up to? Price comes up all the way up to literally this resistance area, right? So look, once we rejected up to this area, we rejected this area, what did price do? Price came all the way up to this resistance area, right? But again, have we violated the structure lows just yet? Look, we didn't close below this, did we? If we quickly just actually just be precise and mark the lows of the previous daily candle, let's see if we got a nice close below this, even on the 30 minutes. Look at that. This was literally just a liquidity grab. We did not even close below this. So technically we are still in an uptrend, and this is the bottom side of the uptrend. So if we can get a nice buy position from here, this is going to rocket ship all the way up to the daily highs, and then we're going to violate the daily highs and come all the way up to our next resistance level, which is 1793, right? You go understand that as well. So let's quickly go back to the daily time frame again. Cool. At this point now, this candle grabbed liquidity, and the next candle kind of like attempted to retest the highs of the previous candle, but you gotta understand, this candle was very, very massive. It had to be corrected. At this point now, this became your correction candle. The next one now at this point became your pullback candle, kind of like retesting, forming some sort of double bottom here on the daily time frame. Look, this is what we're forming, right? To keep it very simple, we are forming a double bottom here, and we understand how strong this is. Double tops and double bottoms are very strong. These are very, very strong, because this is your second rejection on a daily time frame at this point, right? So now you're looking to see, is this your rejection or is this a pullback? So in order for this to be a pullback, we need to kind of like mark out something that's a zone for us, right? So maybe a zone where we have numerous retests. Look at this. Numerous retest here. This was a resistance level here, support level here, one retest here, price rejected from this level, price rejected from this level. Are we above this zone? Yes, we are. Okay, cool. Let's go. What could be the next potential zone? Next potential zone, we can see price came all the way down here. From here, rejected, double retest. And then at this point now, guess what? From here, if we start to form a support here, price comes all the way up, right? It comes all the way up to 1796. We can see that. This is what price has done previously. Price formed a support here, did look at that double retest here, and then obviously forming a support around this level. So obviously it doesn't seem like it's a support on the 4-hour, but you can understand on a lower time frame this will be a support. So now at this point now, if we can form a support here, guess what price is doing? It's pushing all the way back up, right? So now look at this. This becomes a range at this point now. How big is this range? This range is about 50 pips. So now we do understand that if we can start forming some sort of nice support above this, we have this range all the way up to at least 1789. From there, if we start clearing 1789, then we'll come in all the way up to 1793. At that point, we're coming up to the daily resistance. So it's very, very simple. Our jobs as traders is to kind of like figure out at this point now if this becomes pullback on the daily time frame or if this becomes a rejection. But you guys got to also understand one more thing, right? Look at that. Looking at the daily candles now, where can we see wicks? Where can we see wicks? If we kind of like just move this to the left as well, where do we usually see wicks? Price approaches this level, and then from here you get those massive rejections to the top side. Well, again, exact same area. So we can even understand that this is an area, very strong area, is a support area on a daily time frame. Looking to the left, many rejections from this area. At that point, price just explodes all the way to the top side. So buys above here, if we can form a support. So this is the question we're asking as traders. Can we form our support above this? So now when do we want to see the support? At this point, this is news, right? News has kicked in, if I'm not wrong. News has kicked in. Look at that. See, right? So news has kicked in. This is your 12:15. Let's see what news has done so far. Let's go all the way to the 1 minute time frame. And look at that. At this point now, look, price is attempting to break below this again, this level. But look, first rejection, second rejection. This one's closed below this now. So at this point, you guys got to understand, right? This becomes one of our key levels. Look at that. Again, price came all the way up to this level. And then from here, we got those rejections all the way back down, right? So this becomes a key level for our current price actions, which is 1783 to be precise, right? So I really do want to see a nice support being formed above that, and at that point we got such a nice clean range. Let's even look at the 30 minutes. Look at that. We had consolidation, kind of like breaking out of the consolidation, retesting the lows, not violating it, not closing below it, just getting a massive rejection. And then from there, guess what we started to do? Broke out of the range to the top side after grabbing liquidity on the 30 minutes time frame. At this point now, this is a very nice confluence that price wants to form new higher highs and higher lows. And looking at the 30 minutes, what is price doing right now? Look, it's not violating the structure lows. Where are the structure lows? The structure lows are all the way down here. If I just show you guys where the structure lows are, they're literally all the way down here. So have we violated the structure lows? No. We're kind of just turning this area into a support area. And now, guess what? This is also a very nice resistance area. Double top has been formed here on the 30 minutes time frame. So if we can see a support being forming above here, oh guys, that is such a beautiful confluence now. I really do want to see that. Really do want to see that. And look at this now. At this point now, you guys got to understand, where was that area where sellers took control from, right? So if you go all the way back down to our 1 minute time frame. So for the 1 minute, we're going to change the color to white. So at this point now, we understand that this was the last bit of area where sellers took control from, right? So at this point now, what business do we have after retesting this area? What business do we have coming all the way back up and breaking to the top side? Well, the only business I see is because we want to go up to form a new upper wick, right? Some sort of a deeper upper wick. That's the only thing I can see. So at that point, my session opens in another 10 minutes. If I can see something like that being formed, I'm taking this all the way to the top side. Honestly, all the way to the top side. Where is that thing, by the way, that I'm looking for? Yeah, so look, this is it. Sellers were in control here. Now, at this point now, sellers were in control here to the left as well. If we can move this all the way to the left, very strong area, right? Look at that. Sellers were in control here, and again sellers were in control here. At this point now, you gotta understand, this becomes your key area, right? So did we retest this key area before? No, we didn't retest this area. Look at that. At this point now, this is where buyers took control from, and again this is where buyers took control from. You guys gotta understand, price needs to come down to an area of relevance, and then from there it needs to reject and go all the way back up, right? So look, this is what price has done now. First rejection, very nice rejection, This was your first rejection. Price attempted to break the lows, it couldn't, reject it again. Next one closed below, again couldn't retest the lows. At this point now, this becomes a very good buying point for us, right? Becomes a very nice buying point for us actually. So if now this was during our session, I would have executed on a buy position literally right here. As soon as we did a retest and started to break those highs, I would have taken a buy position literally right here. But now again, we have to wait. We need to have patience. So at this point now, by the time our session opens, what are we looking for? We're looking to see if we can violate this structure here, kind of like break this, and then that way probability comes on our side, because we're going to be on the buying side, right? So in order for us to execute on something like this now, we need to see that we can violate this, have some sort of pullbacks, and kind of like catch gold all the way from the downside. Because if you're buying gold, you want to buy it all the way from the downside, right? You don't want to buy it all the way from the top side. Looking at the daily candle, why are we buying gold when it's at all-time highs? Guess what? It's actually not at all-time highs at the moment. It's in the mid side. This is your mid range. You're starting to form a range above this area. This is a very strong area. We do understand numerous rejections from this area actually. Very strong area, right? So if you can start forming some sort of support above this at this point now, you're expecting an upper wick to be formed all the way up to 1793 and potentially even retest the highs of the previous daily candle. Because look at this now. What business does price have rejecting like this? This is not a pullback at this point, right? Because you're starting to actually form some sort of higher highs and higher lows on top of a key area. At this point now, this is just a rocket ship. That's what it is to the top side. Look at this, another rejection from this key area. And then at this point now, if you start closing above this, that's more confidence to the top side. But again, you want to be very safe and you want to wait for this area here to get violated, start forming higher highs, higher lows above this, and that's a nice range to the top side. Something like this, keeping a stop loss literally below this structure lows and kind of like aiming for the 1-to-1 first. And before we even approach any sort of rejection areas, our 1-to-1s are going to get hit. And then after that, we're just going to lay it right, because you got to understand, this is just a rejection area, potentially where we can expect pullbacks from. This is not an area where we can expect massive rejections from. The massive rejection area is all the way up there. So look at the risk to reward on this trade. This is amazing. 75 pips, easy 75 pips. And look at that. We're starting to break to the top side now. We're not going to execute on this just yet. Because we are obviously waiting for our session to open, which is in the next 6 minutes, and then we'll look to execute. But look at that, forming higher highs, higher lows right above this. This was what was the question we asked? Can we form a support above this area, which was our 1783 area? And guess what we are doing now? We're forming support above this area, forming higher highs, higher lows. The next thing we need is this area here to be violated and some sort of retest of this, and then start breaking all highs. That's confidence to the top side, right? Let me just also set my MetaTrader 5 up. I'm gonna up my risk to about 0.9% today. Let's see if we can do that. But yeah, gold looks really good today to the top side, honestly. Guys, by the way, news didn't do anything whatsoever, did it?
Not much. Just that
I think it's
big sell and big correction. That was it.
Yeah, I think he's setting up for the 2 o'clock news, the 4-hour news. That's gonna do some damage for sure.
And
yeah, I think it's because they're waiting on to see if they're gonna start the Fed tapering or not.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go on. You wanna drop some knowledge, Garcia?
tell us about that, G.
Go on.
Oh, you know, like the interest rates.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're just waiting. I guess they're supposed to be meeting on that today, if they're gonna start the process or they're gonna wait till I guess 2022 within the first few months of that. But yeah, 'cause they've been delaying that process for a while.
For a minute now, right? For a minute now.
Yeah.
All right, Magic Keys is all up, ready to go. Okay, now at this point now, we need to be logical thinkers, not emotional thinkers. If we want to look for a nice setup, a high probability setup, let's go on the 30 minutes. Let's see what's happening. Look at this. The candle's rejecting again after violating the lows. What business does it have rejecting again? We do understand that this is a very strong area up here, the white line that we do have. So if we do start again forming higher highs, higher lows above it, guess what? This was your retest at this point now, breaking out of the range. Look at that. This was your breakout. This was your pullback candle. This was your retest candle at this point now. And now what's the next most logical thing we can do? We're going to push all the way back up, right? And look at that. As soon as we start to honestly clear this, we're coming all the way up to 1793. Very easily we're going to come up to 1793, very easily. Looking at the 4 hour as well, like, you know, this is what you guys usually call clean traffic, right? We have clean traffic all the way up to at least 1789, and then once we get those pullbacks from there, we can probably scale in with another position, and then after that start taking it all the way back up to 1793. Another 4 minutes left for our session to open. 3 minutes, I apologize. Let's see what's happening on so now again, what are we looking for? I want to see the next candle open, the next 30-minute candle open. At this point, look, this candle over here, you want it to close above this area. You want it to close above 1783. That's a confirmation that, okay, buyers are keeping it above the very strong key area, but it's just that the volatility is not in the market just yet to push it up to form new higher highs, right? So at this point now, we're expecting this to stay above this key area, next candle to open up and make a low first, because you need to have a sustainable bottom wick. Where can we form a low to? Where do we usually get a very explosive push from? Okay, so we get a very nice push from here, and but where was the first push from? It was all the way from here, right? So we want to see a nice pullback at least all the way down to this area, right? Because look, you don't want to see this being violated, because this is kind of where you got the leg up from was, and then after that you was in consolidation. It just came down to retest the structure, very strong zone again, and then from there started to form higher highs. But again, now you're waiting for some sort of open, a nice bottom wick, some sort of sustainable bottom wick. If we do open here, look, anything literally, even let's say if we used to open here and we start pushing down straight away and get rejection all the way from this support area here, it will be a very nice area, because now you got to start marking out where did we see buyers taking control. Buyers took control there. We got buyers taking control here. So any point here where we see a nice bullish candle printing, and we see the momentum has switched to the top side after forming a bottom wick, I'm taking this all the way to the top side. And then at that point, what you're doing is you're expecting momentum to break out of this, right? But first, you don't want to see an explosive move all the way to the top side. At that point, I'm not touching this. If I see an explosive move all the way to the top side first, I want to see a nice bottom wick being formed on the 30 minutes. At that point, I'm looking for something that is very, very explosive. So something that's kind of like engulfing at least 2 to 3 candles to the left. So I'm looking for something like that, and I'm executing on a buy position here. Looking to take 2 trades today. It depends, right, how the first one goes. So let's see. Another minute left.
This is good right now. Keep dropping.
Yes, keep dropping. Again, look, sellers taking control here again. At this point now, sellers do not have any sort of business breaking this, because look at this, right? How many times has this area been retested? This area has been retested numerous times. So sellers have no business breaking below this. If we start breaking below this at this point now, honestly, we have a very nice range to the downside as well. That's the best thing about our strategy. We're very fluid. Look at the range to the downside as well, at least like 50 pips, 40 to 50 pips. But look at this now. This becomes your second retest. Again, same area, buyers are taking control, right? Look at that, forming a double bottom here. This is your open now. You got a bottom wick at this point now. Ooh, look at this, guys. Ooh, look at this. Whoa, look at this buyer position. I want to see how this one closes. Let's see how the next one opens as well, because I might just execute on a buyer position here now. Depends if it starts clearing to the top side here, but let's see how this one closes at this point. See the way it pushed up? It has a bottom wick as well at this point now. Let's see how the next candle opens. Let's see how the next, because I want to see how the next candle opens. This one, oof, look at you see, it just exploded as soon as our session opened. At this point now, let's see. I have to wait for this to close. This minute candle needs to close, and let's see what the next candle does as well, because it's tapping into this and getting some sort of rejections. So let's see. This is your pullback now. If you start breaking those highs again, at that point I'm taking it back up. Okay, look at the way the candle closed. Very nice. Now let's see if this candle can form a bottom wick, or are we gonna start breaking to the top side. Let's see. Very nice open this one was. Very nice open. But again, we do understand that this is a very strong area. You want to be super careful. We do have a bottom wick on the 30 minutes, but is a very tiny bottom wick, so I would like it to come down first. That's why I've not executed on any sort of buy positions just yet. So I want to give it a little bit to form a bottom wick first, and then at that point I'll look to execute first. But first I want to see a little bit of a deeper bottom wick, right? But again, we have volatility in the market and we do have a bottom wick, so I'm not going to, you know, stick to the idea that price needs to first form a bottom wick and then it's going to drop. I'm just going to, but there you go, we're forming a bottom wick. Amazing. Great stuff. Let's see if you can get those amazing rejections now to the top side. That's what I want to see now. We have to have a lot of patience, guys, because if you're sticking to 1 to 2 trades a day, you have to have a lot of patience, right? You have to be a very disciplined trader. At that point, you're only aiming for the high probability setups. Look at this point now, looking at the 30 minutes, right? Look at this. After rejecting all the way to the downside, price came all the way back up. So clearly, buyers are still in control, right? But now I want to honestly see some sort of retest of this structure here, and then we start to form some sort of support above here. I would love to take this up. If we can retest this, get some sort of nice rejections and close above this area at this point now, retesting this is a very nice bottom wick at that point. Very nice bottom wick. And we do understand as soon as we got the session opening, the momentum was to the top side as well. And then at that point, obviously the momentum switched because price had to form that bottom wick. So let's see now if we can get a massive rejection to the top side. Can we see a nice engulfing bullish candle printing out now? Can we see that? Or do we still have some more room to the downside? You understand, if I see a nice bullish candle printing here, turning this area into a support area, I'm taking this all the way up, because at that point, even if we are ranging, we're catching gold all the way from the downside, right? But you understand, if we do start clearing this, at that point it becomes a bit tricky. You want to see where can you take those sells from, right? You want to see that as well. Looking at the 4 hour, at this point now you have this support area right here. Usually price comes all the way down here, and then from here it starts to reject as well. So it becomes very tricky for us to kind of like capitalize on those sells just here. So I would really let this go, honestly, when it comes to sells. It looks good, but I'm looking for those buyers, not those sells. Right now, let's see if we close below this, because this was the structure where buyers took control from. So let's see if we close below this, or we're going to start rejecting. Ooh, I like this. Ooh, I really like this. Can we get a nice push to the top side? Get sniper entry right here. Can we? Got a massive rejection. Looking to execute on something like this. If we can kind of like turn this area into a support area. Can we? Nah, it's still going down at the moment. Gotta let it go down. Come on, Goldilocks. Give us that rejection. Look at this candle here. The previous candle rejected nicely. Let's see if this candle can close above the zone, or if it closes below the zone and we see some sort of like this area starts turning into some sort of resistance and see a massive bearish candle. At that point we can take sells as well, but until then I'm not looking for no sells. This is just your pullback, very explosive pullback. You gotta understand, right? Because this is your session. This is your session open. This is when there is a lot of volatility in the market, right? And usually price does that. It would break out of this range, grab liquidity, and then at that point you'll get a very explosive move to the top side. Okay, look, where is the last bit of an area where we started the uptrend from? This is it, right? So this could be that last bit of area. We formed a double bottom here as well. So let's see if the momentum shift comes in from this area, this point on, because until we actually break this, we haven't violated the structure, right? But now if we start to violate this, at that point our bias switches to sells, obviously, and then at that point we're waiting for those pullbacks, and then obviously we're taking all the way down. Until then, there's nothing we're missing out on, nothing whatsoever. Why not use input risk instead of editing your settings? I'm just used to using the settings. That's the thing. Okay, can we see any rejections from this point on now? Let's see, because this is it, right? Below this, if we close below this, we're violating the structure at this point. But if you can see a nice rejection from here, massive bullish candles printing out, we're taking it all the way to the top side, it will be a very nice sniper entry, honestly. Very, very nice sniper entry. Can we see it though? Can we see it though? Or are we gonna start closing below this? Because look at your daily candle as well at this point as well, right? Daily candles coming all the way to the daily lows at this point. So potentially what can happen is, usually it does that. As soon as you get the opening, it'll come all the way down to the downside, and then from there it'll start to reject. So I'll be super, super careful, kind of like looking for sales, because there are so many rejections. But if you start to break the daily lows, at that point you're like, okay, now you're not rejecting from the point of the daily lows, right? You're actually breaking them. At that point, you're just waiting for that resistance to be formed to take it down. It's very simple. You should not have FOMO if you're trading gold, because usually gold will give you a massive move. Something like this, we've done a million times. You see something like this, people get scared, they get FOMO, but literally the actual move starts pretty much after something like this. So yeah, where are the daily lows? Let's quickly just mark the daily lows so we know that we have violated the daily lows, or we haven't violated the daily lows. So this 1778, this is our daily low area. Let's quickly put some text here. DL stands for daily lows, right? So until we actually violate this, technically we are in an uptrend, right? On the daily time frame, on an intraday time frame. So yeah, this should not be something that gives you FOMO. Look at this now. Look at this now. Coming back up again. Can we close above this area at this point? Look at this, right? What happens when we form a support above this area? Zoom, massive, 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 massive push to the top side. So let's see if we can get something here now. Some sort of nice support being formed here above this area. And I'm taking this all the way to the top side. This bad boy is coming all the way to the top side with me. Okay, look at that. Ooh, this is looking nice now. Very nice, actually. Okay, I'm looking to take a trade here, guys. Aiming for the 1-to-1 to the top side, honestly. I'm looking to take a trade here. This looks really good. This looks good, honestly. At this point now, look. You're back up again, closing above this. At this point now, this should not pull back all the way to the downside, right? This should keep on pushing up at least to 1782, then 1783, and then kind of like correct this whole move down, because this was so explosive. The pullbacks have to be very, very explosive as well, right? We do understand that when you get something that is very explosive, the pullbacks will be very explosive as well. So you're gonna see this candle kind of just like push all the way up to like 1782 most probably. Very nice candle. Let's see how this one closes as well, and then the next one. Now at this point, look, you want the next candle to kind of like come down a little bit and start forming a support around this area, above this area. At that point, we can even potentially scale in. Let's see if we can get something like that, a nice bearish candle, tiny bearish candle. See that momentum to the downside has exhausted. At that point, start forming some sort of support here and take something like this, scale in. Scale in. Let's see if we can see that. You want to see a nice bearish candle here, reject to the top side, kind of now start rejecting. You don't want to see these lows get broken, otherwise this trade becomes invalid, right? And this for this trade to obviously be valid, you want to see this candle now start to form some sort of support above here, above this area. At that point, we should be good to go up. Let's see if we can see that. Let me just set this up as well. Okay, ready to go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Now I want to see a nice rejection from this point on and start turning this area into a support area. But if we do start breaking below this, at that point price is coming down a little bit more, but this area should hold, because look what happens every time when we form a support above this area. This is where we started the uptrend from, right? Look at that. This was the point where we actually started the uptrend from. So if we can start forming a support above here now, we should be good to go up. But until then, this trade really becomes invalid. Can we form a double bottom over here? Let's see. I'm gonna move this down a little bit more. A little bit more. Give this a little bit more room to breathe, just to be on the safer side, because they might want to come down, do a deeper retest of potentially 1773. I'm keeping that in my mind as well. Wait, hold on a second. Okay, can we form a double bottom here and start forming a support above here now? This becomes your pullback. Can we see this? Can we see this? Or are we going to start clearing below this? Because at this point now, look, where did the buyers take control? Buyers took control literally at this point here. You don't want to see price closing below this. At that point, this setup right now becomes a little bit invalid. You want to see buyers take control here, right? And this becomes your pullback area. Can we see something like that, or are we going to see a close? Remember, price usually does break to the downside, but it's the closes that matter. If you see a massive dump now, at that point you're like, okay, this momentum has switched. But if you see now price coming all the way back up, at that point this becomes a pullback, right? So let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. And the daily lows have been violated at this point now. So look, now price has, if price closes below this, this is a very good confirmation that cool, you should switch your bias, but this is a retest. So any bullish candles over here, I'm taking them up. Any bullish candles over here. So we're gonna move this down again. Let me set this up again. Move my magic keys right here, and I'm executing on a position here, guys, honestly. As soon as I see nice momentum to the top side, otherwise your momentum has switched. You gotta understand now, price is forming lower lows and lower highs, right? But again, I've seen this a million times. Price comes down to retest those daily lows. At this point now, this might have just been a retest. But again, if you start forming lower lows and lower highs below this, that's a very nice confirmation and a very nice range to the downside as well. So let's see how it plays out. But I will definitely not execute on a sell position anywhere here. This is very, very strong area for buyers to take price all the way back up. Very strong area, actually. I kind of want to do stack a little bit rather than kind of like going in with just one position. Can we do that? Look, at this point now, two things are going to happen, right? Look, where was the last bit of an area? This area, this is a key area. At this point now, you're looking to see something, right? Is this where sellers will take control now? Retesting the daily lows. This is a very nice sell position at this point. If you get a nice close, pull back. But again, guys, do you really want to catch a sell here? It becomes a bit tricky, right? So you want to see a nice pullback, something like this being formed, but below the daily lows. If we can see something like this being formed below the daily lows, at that point it becomes very good. Until then, this is just literally a deeper retest. I'll be honest, very deeper retest. And I'm not looking to take any sort of sells because the buyers will give you way bigger move to the top side. Hey, gold is just dumping today. People are getting that FOMO, I can tell. Watch when the buyers play out though, guys. You're gonna be surprised if they do play out today. But 100 pip move down, all the way from downside, all the way to the downside. This key area, this will become our key area right here, honestly. Let's see now. You're looking for two things now. This daily low area, is it gonna turn into a resistance area or a support area? If we can catch a trade from here, it will be a very nice trade. Either way, I'm looking to take a trade from here. Because above this, you're in an uptrend. Look at that. You can literally switch from any point, right? Because you're in an uptrend. But after something like this, right? After you violated the structure, you violated daily lows at this point now, you understand that, okay, cool. Price is not actually rejecting from daily lows. Guess what? At that point, if you see, again, another nice pullback and more momentum to the downside, we can take it down. But until then, I'll be chilling. I'm not looking to execute on anything here. The only position I can see that could have been decent to the downside, actually no, it becomes very tricky. And what about you guys? Would you guys have taken a sell position at any point? No, it becomes very tricky to take a sell position today. Very tricky.
Wait.
Have to wait.
It's weird right here.
Because the thing is, right, the daily lows are right there. So until you actually violate the daily lows, you don't have that confirmation to take price down because price needs to create that upper wick, right? So, I mean, you didn't get any sort of pullback here. You got one pullback here. And then again, the way the candles were printing, it becomes very tricky. Let's look to the left. So let's see, are we tapping into something of significance? Something of significance. I mean, guys, patience pays in this game, so that's what's gonna get tested today. We need to have patience and we need to wait for our setup. Can't just take anything. We're tapping into this resistance on the 4-hour time frame as well at this point now. Look at this, numerous rejections from this point on. Numerous rejections, honestly. A lot of rejections from this point on. Wow, a lot of rejections. Can we form a support above this? Let's see if we can form a support above this. Because again, I'm thinking it might just be a very, very deeper pullback. Let's see if we can form a support above this area. Retest this, start breaking all highs, form a support above this. That'll be our first confidence for buyers. If we can then form a support above that, start like scaling in a way. Can we do that though? If we get a nice push above this, I'm going to take one dynamic risk entry. Just one tiny risk entry. Just here. Because I don't want to go in with a bigger position now. I want to scale in on this. If we see momentum to the top side, honestly. If we can start forming a support above this, and then I want to see another support being formed above the daily lows as well. At that point, this whole thing's gonna get corrected. Especially with the news coming as well, we're going to see such a nice move. Such a nice move. I'm being extra careful. I might take one tiny entry here. See if we can make this work. Let it do its thing now. Sure. Okay, first point on. Can we get a retest of this maybe? Look, can we form a support above this? That's the next question we're asking. At that point, we're forming higher highs, forming a support above a very strong area. Third confidence we're looking for is another sort of higher high structure being formed above daily lows. At that point, if we can see a structure being formed above daily lows and see a nice engulfing bullish candle, I'm taking it all the way to the top side. Until then, we have to wait. But above daily lows is very, very nice to take it back off. Otherwise, this can literally become that pullback area as well, right? To kind of like take it all the way down. Let's see, gold. What do you want to do to us? Okay, first bit of a rejection area we've had. Now, let's see, is this area going to hold as a rejection area? Or are we going to start? Can this be that pullback area? Kind of like literally next to the daily lows, right? In order for this to be a pullback area, you need to see where was the point where sellers took control from? It was literally right there. So you want to see this whole structure being engulfed to the downside. Otherwise, this is your lower lows and lower highs being formed, basically. Let's see now. Let's see what happens. First rejection from here now. If we can get another rejection here, start forming higher highs, higher lows above this area. Start breaking this, go above daily lows. Can we do that? Or does it want to push down a little bit more? But right now, this is a nice candle here. If you are looking for sells, this is a good position here. But again, have to be extra careful and wait for this to break. At that point, it becomes good, right? If you start closing below this area here. If you get a nice close below this, I think we can go down a little bit more at that point. Because then the momentum is to the downside, honestly. A lot of momentum. Okay, this is looking good now to the downside, honestly. If you get a nice close below this, second one comes up, retest, starts breaking all lows. But you don't want to see this area become a rejection area. At that point, you can take it down. Because look, the way it's rejecting, you don't want to see a reject. You don't want to see a reject. You want to see a close below this, a nice close below this. At that point, sells become nice. At least the one-to-one should work out. Because you do have a clean range to the downside, right? But right now, look at the way the candle closed. It closed with a rejection from the downside. Still got a rejection. And let's see what happens. This area is still holding. Look at that. Still holding. If this candle engulfs everything to the left, this area is technically still holding. And if we can catch these buys from here, it's gonna be a very nice sniper entry. Remember we done on Friday poll.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
what I was
looking
just thinking about. It
bro,
looked like
this
that.
is looking like that, man. But I'm so tempted on stacking up with like tiny positions, like one lots. I want to see a nice engulfing candle here, man. Because I'm really not interested. Bro, if we can get a nice entry from this area and then the news is dropping in the next 10 minutes, oof, this is going to go all the way up to the daily highs. All the way up to the daily highs, honestly. Look at that, we're rejecting this area again. where did the sellers take control at? Previous rejection we got was right there. Can we get close below this at this point now or not? Are we going to reject this again and start breaking the highs? If we reject this, we're coming down in my opinion, honestly. But you wouldn't want to see a nice close below this though. So it's become a bit tricky. Look at that rejection again from the downside. Are we going to start breaking the highs now? You're getting crazy rejections at this point. Just waiting for that rocket ship of a candle now to the top side. Man, I'm gonna stack on this. This will be probably the most beautiful entry if we can catch it from here. This is literally at all-time lows. Keep that in your mind as well, guys. All-time lows. Ooh, this is starting to look good now. Can we get a nice close above this, giving us probability? Can we get? Ooh, there we go. Okay. Let's see if we can get a nice close above this area though. You want to see a close above this, giving you probability after forming a double bottom here, and then potentially take you all the way to the top side from here. Give me this. Let's get a nice close above this area at this point now. Probability goes on our way. At that point, second thing I'm looking for, a nice sort of support being formed above here. Let's see if you can see that as well. And then I'll take one dynamic risk position if we can get a nice close above this area. Like very tiny position though. As I said, very tiny position. So usually my dynamic risk positions are 0.5%. These are going to be very tiny positions. Very, very tiny positions. Like 1-2 lots. So I'm going to take one position here. 2 lot position is up like 12 pips right now. So it's just a 2 lot position. Not big at all. And at this point now, I want to see a nice support being formed above here as well. See if you can see that. And I'll take another position. If you can see a nice support being formed here. At this point now, look. Again, are we going to see a double top being formed here? Or are we going to start breaking this area? Let's see. Honestly, bro, if we can start breaking this area, start forming support above daily lows, we're coming all the way up. But this is the only area I'm concerned about, right? Because we can potentially form a double top here to start dropping down. That's why I'm not going in with any sort of big positions. I have a very tiny position running here. It's up about 10 pips at this point as well, so I can kind of make a risk free soon. So once I can make this risk free, I'll add another position. Make that risk free, add another. So I can have like 10 positions running all the way to the top side, but keep on making them risk free, right? So let me show you guys one thing, right? See, this position right now is up like 12 pips, so I'm gonna make a risk free real soon as soon as I enter with another position. So that's how you kind of like do it. So you see this one now, it's running 13 pips, but it's only 2 lots. Look at that. So soon I'll make this risk free, and then I'll add more positions. This is up like 15 pips now, and then potentially have like catch like a lot of pips to the top side. So you want to see a nice close above this area at this point now, and see if we can form some sort of support. So a nice support above here and start breaking to the top side. That's the confidence we're looking for. That's the question we're asking, right? Let's see if we can see that. Because we got the next 4 other openings soon as well. Got the 4 other openings soon as well. So this is the first position we have. It's literally all the way from down here. Stop loss obviously has to always go below the structure. And now this is a very low risk position, because we're kind of like looking to catch something like this on this position, right? Something like that. So you need to wait for more confirmations to kind of like scale in now. So another confirmation I'm interested in seeing is that if we can kind of like form a double, some sort of like, you know, support area. Because look, right now it's just forming that double top here. If it starts breaking to the downside, honestly, I'm going to call it a day at that point, because I'm giving this a second try now. If it doesn't work out, I have to be disciplined and call it a day. But at this point, honestly, it should start working out, right? And then with the new 4 other approaching as well, you got more news kicking in. At that point, if you can start forming some sort of support above here, we can honestly see something very explosive to the top side, hopefully. Let's see. So this is where you formed higher highs from again. This point now, if we can see another nice support being formed above this area, you're forming higher highs, higher lows, right? Let's see. Well, honestly, if you start breaking below this, I'm going to accept this as a losing day and call it a day. Be very disciplined. At that point, price just wants to drop, and I really don't want to take sales today. For me, it doesn't make sense to take sells when there is no upper wick on a daily time frame. You're at all-time lows. Honestly, it doesn't make sense. But I know for a fact if there is momentum to the top side with the 4-hour opening, we're going to see a very explosive move. But I do want to wait for that though. Do you want to wait for that to come? There we go. Make it a little bit tighter. Another 4 minutes left for the new 4-hour open. Another 4 minutes left. So this is my first position. I'm going to scale in. Let me show you guys how I'm going to scale in. This will be my first position. Second position will be scaled in somewhere around here. And then this will become risk-free, right? Third position will scale in somewhere up there. And then this will become risk-free. So that way I can have like 10 positions running and start securing profits, make it risk-free. Secure profits, make it risk-free. Secure profits, make it risk-free. Like that's how I'll do it. Because if you want to have like 10 positions running, obviously you don't want to have risk on the table on all of the 10 positions. Imagine all of your stop losses get hit. If it's not calculated risk, it could be a lot. It could be a lot for real. So you want to have a calculated lot size, calculated risk on the table. This is 2 lot. This is nothing, right? Very tiny lot. So that's why I can manage to open more positions. If I was in with like 4 or 5 lots, then I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna open like 2-3 positions and be super careful. But at this point now I can start throwing up positions, right? The more confirmations I see. Next confirmation, as I said, I'm looking for is some sort of support that's being formed above this area, right? The 4-hour area. Because look at the 4-hour again. You can see numerous rejections from pretty much this area, right? Numerous rejections from this area. Look at that. If we move it down a little bit more to be precise. So any sort of support being formed above this becomes really nice, right? Really nice, because this becomes your 4-hour area at this point. But let's see if we can see something like that though. I'm gonna wait for this. But I'll be honest guys, I'm really not interested in catching any sort of sells today, that's for sure. Only looking for buys, because buyers can give us a lot of pips to the top side. Hopefully in the next 2 minutes now, ooh, I think we're gonna see something very explosive. Honestly, I'm kind of like tempted to take another position if we get a nice engulfing bullish candle now. The only issue is that with the new 4-hour opening we can potentially get waked up, so you want to be super careful. But with the next 4-hour opening, if the momentum is to the top side, I think we can see a lot of pips. But again, is gold, it might just start dumping like 200-300 pips to the downside. That's why I want to wait for that confirmation before taking anything. But the news is about to drop in another minute. We're going to see news dropping. Another minute left. So what's the area of relevance? This area is good. From here we have formed highs, right? From this area, so anywhere around here, if you can see that rejection now in the next minute, then I'll look to kind of like stack in. Until then, have to wait, because the new 4-hour open can easily wake us out if we start stacking now. So I want to wait. Okay, there we go. Another minute left. Is the new 4-hour going to give us the opportunity to stack to the downside or the top side? Sells become a bit tricky, but again, whichever way the momentum is. There we go. Are we going to start dropping now, or are we going to start pushing up? What's going to happen with the 4-hour? This is the 4-hour open, right? Is this when the news is dropping, or is it at 2 o'clock? Let me check again.
I think it's at 2 o'clock.
Oh, guys, the news is at 2 o'clock. I apologize. But this is a 4-hour open though, right? Because the time's changed now. Yeah. But yeah, this is a 4-hour open, so you want it to come down a little bit. I apologize, guys. I got it mixed up. So yeah, I mean, that'll be even better for us if we can kind of like take positions, and like if our positions are floating in profits and then we get news kicking in, that's gonna drive our price all the way to the TP. I mean, in a way, that's more beneficial for us. So look, you want this to create a bottom wick at this point now and start engulfing everything to the left. Look, you have a bottom wick on the 4-hour now. You want to see it kind of like forming a support above this area at this point now. If we can form a support above this area, stop breaking out of this, I'm going to stack another position to the top side. But this area I want to see if we can form a support above this area. Okay, this is looking good. This is looking good. Nice close above this, retest, take it up. It's looking good, honestly. Ooh, there we go. Looking great now. There we go. See if we break out of this range, because look, where do usually sellers take control from? Up there. So until we actually break out of it, the confirmations are not there. But again, we understand this is a very strong area to the left. So if you can form a support above here and then kind of like break out of this range, at that point, that gives me a good confirmation. But that's what I'm looking for, right? Some sort of support being formed above here. So I'm not predicting the price. I'm not taking a position kind of like, you know, thinking that something will happen. I'm waiting for that something to happen, and then at that point I'll execute with confidence, because it's your 4-hour open. It can pretty much go down, form a deeper bottom wick. So I don't want to take any positions just yet. But once I see what I like, I'll take a position and I'll let you guys know. But I've showed you what I'm looking for, right? Something like this. Okay, there we go. Can we get a nice close above this? At the moment, logically thinking, right, you are in a consolidation. You do not want to take a position within a consolidation, because you'll go to the top side, come to the downside, unless you actually see something that's like, you're like, okay, this is a very nice candle. As again, rejecting. So now where are we rejecting? Where are sellers taking control at? Sellers are taking control right there. Can we close above this now? That'll be a nice confirmation if we can close above this, and then kind of like closing above this area. Next one comes, does a retest, breaks all highs. We're going all the way to the top side at that point. But can we see that though? That's the question, right? You have to wait if you can see that, not predict. At this point now, look, but sellers have taken control previously right there. So let's see if buyers are in control at this point now with the 4-hour open. And you want to see how the next how the next minute candle opens as well, right? Let's see, can we close above this area? Okay, we did close above it pretty much. Let's see what the next one can do now. Okay, we're actually like forming some sort of support around here now. If we start breaking to the top side, this will be a very nice confirmation at this point now to take another entry. But I want to see a nice close again, some sort of retest, because the thing is, this candle is way too high for me to take a position right now. I want to see a support being formed above here. Have I seen a support being formed above here? No. Okay, this is a bit of a confirmation that, look, at this point now, this is where sellers took control, but this time buyers kind of like closed above that area where sellers took control from. So at this point now, this should become your pullback area. If we can turn this into that pullback area at this point now, see a nice rejection from here, and then start breaking all highs, that'll be a very nice confirmation to take a position. But until then, we just have to wait for this. We're still within the range, right? You're collecting little clues, but you still have to wait. At this point now, you got a nice close. Now you want to see this turn into that pullback area and go all the way back up to start forming new higher highs and higher lows. Let's see, can we reject from this area now? Start respecting this area and forming new higher highs and higher lows. If not, position here doesn't make sense. Look at that. This is a nice rejection. Is this going to engulf everything to the left now? Let's see. That's a question we're going to ask, right? Look, support has been formed here now. Look at that. This is a support above this support, right? So let's see, it's a resistance right there as well. So if you can see something like this now, if it goes up, then the support has been formed. If this candle goes up now, engulfs everything to the left, that's a support being formed, right? So let's see. Until then, we are in a consolidation and we just have to wait. It's very simple. Come on, 4 hour, let's do something. How much of a, yeah, I might want to create some sort of a deeper bottom wick because the bottom wick is tiny though. But that's the thing, we're expecting the previous 4 hour to get corrected, so it doesn't mean that we need a massive bottom wick, right? But let's see what happens. I'm gonna be extra careful here though. See now why I didn't take another position just yet. You have to wait for this to form a bottom wick first. At that point we can look to take a position. First you have to wait for every single confirmation, because honestly, to be quite honest, I'm not looking for any sort of sells today. Even though, yeah, they looked like there was a red, there was too many rejections. You could have gotten rejected from any point on. And the rejections, when the rejections come, when it comes to sells, the rejections are very brutal compared to the buys. Come on, Goldie, give us that confirmation. Now let's take it up. Stack some nice positions here. This is the bottom wick being formed, so you want to see a nice bottom wick and you want to see a rejection all the way from this area here where buyers to control from, right? That's what you're looking to see. A nice bottom wick down to this area from here, massive rejection all the way to the top side. But if you start breaking below this now, start forming low lows, low highs, at that point you're coming down, right? And I'm really not looking to cash in on those sells today. Really not interested. I want to stick to buyers. But let's see now what happens. Let's see what happens. Can you get those rejections, or is it going to push down? I'm going to make this a bit tighter now. Alright, my stop loss is a bit tighter now. Dynamic risk. Let's see now. Are we going to see a rejection from this area, or what's going to happen? So my stop loss, I'm making a little bit tighter if we start breaking below this, just to manage some more risk. But it's a tiny position, so that's the thing, right? Doesn't really matter if I make it big or small, but I'd rather make it tighter still. Stick to the correct risk management. Look, you want to see the rejections from here. If it starts breaking all lows, you're coming down again. And sells make sense. From here, sells can work out at least down to 17.71. Sells can work out if you start breaking the lows now. But I'm not taking sells. Really not interested in sells. This is the 4 hour. You want it to form a bottom wick, start rejecting, kind of like form double bottom here. Otherwise, sells should start working out now, at least down to 17.71. Sells should be good. If you see another engulfing bearish candle, sells should be really good, but I'm not taking any sells today. I want to catch those buys, because those buys are going to be very nice to the top side. Very, very nice. Minimum like 200 pips we're going to see if we stack up on buys. Let's see, are we forming a double bottom here now? Let's see. This is it now. You're looking to see, are you forming a double bottom here on the 4 hour lows? Because as I said, it needs to form a bottom wick all the way to the 4 hour lows, right? Look at this point now. Where are the 4 hour lows? Let me take this out. Let's make sense out of this. So until we actually start to form a resistance on a lower time frame, look at that. Below this, the 4 hour lows have not been violated. But if you start to form a support above here, this kind of becomes a double bottom over here now. It becomes a rejection area. And now if you see a nice engulfing bullish candle, we're going all the way to the top side. Look at that. See that, right? All the way to the top side. And I'm looking to scale in now. If we see another nice candle. Ooh, it looks good now though. Still haven't scaled in. Let me just make that clear. At this point, you're looking to see, okay, where can we form a support? Look, price usually rejects from this area. Can we turn this area, respect this area, start forming a support? Otherwise, this becomes a pullback candle, and if you start breaking below this, will come in all the way downtown. And this becomes your pullback, a very nice pullback at this point. If I was looking for sells and we started to close below this, I would take a sell position. But again, I'm not looking for sells, sticking to my bias, which is bias today. Guys, honestly, that's what trading is about. If you feel like, look, you're not comfortable with taking sells and you see the potential on buys is way better than like, it's all about risk to reward. If you feel like if you take a buy position here and the risk to reward is like so much better, then that's what it is. You have to stick to it. But let's say if I was to take a sell position here, I'm like, okay, gold's at all-time low. It can reject it. It can reject it. Same thing up there as well, right? At that point, it becomes very tricky because potentially what could be happening right now is that it's forming some sort of like bottom wick, right? some sort of bottom wick is being formed, and you're going to see a nice engulfing bullish candle. So that's the thing. It becomes very tricky for me to take a sell position here, because you're still not seeing any sort of momentum to the downside right now. You're just seeing pullbacks until you actually see explosive 10 pip candle, which might be now, right? At that point, you're like, okay, the sell position is here now. But at this point, honestly, I want to take out this tiny dynamic risk position and just not hold it. Even though it was a very tiny position, I don't want to hold it, because you're forming lower lows and lower highs, and you might just see a massive candle at this point now. Or you might just see nice engulfing bullish candle over here. That's the thing, right? It becomes very tricky for us to take sells here. And I know usually I'm way more profitable when I stick to the... Whoa. What's happened here? Holy. Bro, what's happened here? God, what's happened here? Whoa. Somehow positions just opened on my phone. Whoa. What's happened here? Whoa. What the? Bro, somehow the positions just open on my phone. How?
Do you have sell limits and shit?
No, bro, I was literally, I heard vibration on my phone. I see 10. Whoa. How did that just happen on my MetaTrader 5? I literally heard vibration and I see like 5 positions open. Whoa. What just happened here? Literally, as soon as this move, I'm about... What the hell just happened here? Look at this. Whoa. What's happened here, guys? How did that happen? How did it open like 4 or 5 positions altogether? What did I do on MetaTrader 5 on my phone? Guys, you know what? That's what happens when you're not paying attention. You got your MetaTrader 5 running. At this point, oh, it wasn't like a lot of risk. Opened up tiny positions, but it opened up many positions. What the hell just happened here?
That's crazy, dude.
Bro, this has never happened before. Luckily, there were tiny positions. I didn't lose a lot, but holy, how did that happen?
Well, you already stacked up for the buys right there, dude.
Yeah. How did that just happen? I'm trying to figure this out.
Just remove your stop loss. It'll be fine.
No, there was no stop loss. There was no stop loss. I literally had to do that. How can there be stop loss if I didn't open the positions? Oh no, what's happened here? Oh no, what's happened here?
Was it a bomb dial?
Literally, I saw three, four. I heard vibration. I see 4 positions open. I'm like, whoa, what's happened here? Literally, right here. What the hell was that? It's like, what did I do? But you know what, guys? No big deal. It is what it is. But anyway, we're still looking for buyers. I'm staying away, but you guys will see those buys working out though. That's for sure. But as I said, look, again, sales becomes tricky. Look at the daily time frame. You're gonna take sells from here where you got this massive rejection from. Are you really gonna take a sell position here? Are you gonna, yeah, cool, you could have taken a sell position from there, but once you violated the daily lows, I guess take it all the way down to there. But again, look at the risk to reward. The sell position was gonna give you 40 pips, and the buy position could have given you like hundreds and hundreds of pips. Because if you are a disciplined trader, you're going for those trades with big risk to rewards. And buy positions from here would give you a lot of pips to the top side, potentially. A lot of pips. That's the best thing about it, right? And at this point, you got to understand you're grabbing liquidity in the market as well after violating these structural lows. And if you type into this resistance area now, after grabbing liquidity and see massive rejections to the top side, you're taking this all the way to the top side. All the way. Literally all the way to the top side. Man, if you guys see a nice rejection here, honestly, after grabbing liquidity in the market, no upper wick either. This is what patience can give you if this works out. This might be like the best case scenario for you guys. Gonna see a nice rally straight to the top side. I don't know why gold did that to me, you know. the heck did that happen though? How? I don't get it.
I kind of want to take a position here.
Bro, I'm telling you, this is what's gonna happen. Like, patience pays is like one of them things is gonna work out for you guys here. Like, patience pays, one of them things. So, let's see, man. If you guys can start stacking up here. This is liquidity in the market. Retester for key area. Oh boy, this might be the buy positions we have been waiting for. And you guys might see patience pays. Guys, this might just be it now. You're gonna see a rocket ship. Watch this candle just like reject. Ooh, it might be coming now. But yeah, I actually got violated today. Got violated. That's what happens when you trade on phone. Yeah, I mean, I don't usually trade on phone. I trade on my PC, but I was looking to take dynamic positions today. Dynamic risk, like 1-2 lots. So I don't know why it done that to me. Very silly. It's never happened to me before. I've traded many times on a phone, actually. It's never happened to me before. Never in my life. It's the first time. So I was so focused on the candles, and then the phone was kind of like touching my leg, and then I hear vibration. I look at it, I'm like, whoa, 4 positions open, 3 lot, 3 lot, 3 lot. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then all of a sudden the candle just drops. And I had no stop losses. So yeah, guys, not the best day for me today. After having such a great week, such a terrible day. But yeah, you guys, buys might be coming now. These are the buys you guys have been waiting for, honestly. Yeah,
Yeah, we got the NYSE here in like 12 minutes.
exactly. Because the thing is, look, you have liquidity in the market now. If you see momentum to the top side, you're taking it all the way to the top side. But you want to see momentum kick in now. And where SC, you're going to see momentum. Yeah, you might see a very nice push. And also, you got to understand, if you can start catching trades like positions from here, and you're like up here, all the way up to like 17.76, and the news comes in, you're taking this bad boy all the way up to like correct this whole move down. Because you got to understand, usually before news, you get those pullbacks, right? And then with the news, you get those corrections. You might see the correction, and then you start to form that upper wick all the way to the resistance. So it might be one of them cases today that you didn't capitalize on the sells, because it wasn't, I wouldn't say it was very risky, but it was very tricky to catch the sells today. You could have, but as I said, we usually like to catch those big moves, right? Risk to reward, that's the thing. Something like this, I didn't really see much of a potential from like below the daily lows. Above the daily lows, again, I was like, okay, daily lows can become the rejection area. I'll have to take on my position. I won't have big runners. Below daily lows, I'm like, okay, this can become that rejection area. I might have to take on my position there. And now this is also grabbing liquidity. So if you see like massive bullish candles printing out, guess what? You can potentially come all the way up to the current daily highs, which is very possible, right? But yeah, today was a very, very bad day for me. I'll be honest. It opened up like 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my gosh. 12 pips, 12 pips, and 12 pips. It opened up 3 12-pip positions. I lost 12 pips on 3 positions there. Very bad day. Very bad day. I don't know why it's always the technical errors that are messing up my trading. Sometimes it's either the magic keys, or sometimes it's always the technical errors that are messing up my trading some days. Usually like every day we will be profitable, and then something will happen, like either magic keys will mess up, or something like silly what happened today. All of a sudden somehow 3-4 positions just opened on my phone. But honestly, buys from here, oh, they're gonna be so nice if they can start playing out from here with the NYSE. So another 10 minutes, if you can see the buys playing out from here. So look, what you're expecting is, let me draw this for you guys. Liquidity grab, retest, something like this. But you want to see a retest of at least a strong zone though. So you want to catch it from the strong zone. Keep that in your mind. I'm going to put a line. So how far is this strong zone? Keep that in your mind. It's only about 13-15 pips away. So it's not that far at all. So you want to see a retest and bounce off of this strong key zone straight back up. Straight back up. If you can see something like that, these buyers are going to play out very nicely. Very, very nicely. Very, very nicely. Man, this thing messed me up today though. No way this happened. How to close. MetaTrader 5 positions open at the same time on a phone. Guys, one thing I'll recommend, you guys never trade on a phone. Because I don't trade on a phone. I trade on my PC usually. But today I wanted to go in with dynamic risk position. So I kind of had like 3 lots and my finger was like on the trigger, but I was focusing on the candles. I hear literally, I feel vibration. I look at my MetaTrader 5 and I have like 3 lot positions open. As soon as I start closing them, literally the candle drops like 10 pips. More than 10 pips. So I got done very dirty today. But that's it. Learn from my mistakes. Don't trade on a phone. If you are a profitable trader and you usually trade on your PC, stick to that. Don't trade on a phone. Don't trade on a phone. Manage your positions. Open your positions on the PC as well. Learn from me. Because this was a technical issue that caused me a lot of damage today. Honestly, a lot of damage. At this point, look, this is a resistance area. You want price to really bounce off of this area, right? So let's see now. If you start seeing rejections here now, this becomes very nice to take it to the top side. Very, very nice. Look at that. Another rejection here. Liquidity in the market as well. That's what you're looking to see. But very bad day for me today. Oh, trading. You know, something like this happened the other day as well. I saw this happening with someone else. But they had like sell orders and buy orders, and both of them got activated. And they lost so much money. Actually, that happened with Raj as well. You guys saw, remember, I think he was on NFP, right? You see, it's these technical errors. They can really mess you up as a trader. Sometimes it's not your fault. Sometimes it's not the way you execute. Sometimes it's not you over risking, over leveraging. It's something silly. This has actually happened to me in the past as well. One time I nearly blew up an account because of a technical error. Another 6 minutes left. I just want to stay here for you guys now, honestly. See if I can navigate you guys over here, because a very nice buy position can work out from here if something like this plays out and this area doesn't turn into a resistance area. Because NYSE, you're going to see more momentum kick in and then potentially take it back up, right? So yeah, I'll be here. I'll navigate you guys throughout this position if you guys do choose to take a position here. But yeah, see that exhaustion, previous candle actually exhausted. Now you want to see some sort of a pullback. Like if you can see like a nice bearish candle at this point now and reject from the downside, and then you see NYSE open, another rejection, it goes down first again just to create a bottom wick, and then another rejection to the top side. This area will become a key area for the buyers to take control. But you want to see NYSE push down a little bit, and then after that, after forming a bottom wick, start pushing up all the way from here. In 20 and 35 minutes is so much news. Did you take trade, bro? Not yet. I've not taken a trade, guys. I've got done dirty today. Like today, I'm not having a good day. It was a very good day, but technical error happened. So, but it's all part of the game. Not gonna cry about it. I'm still. It's not like it wasn't anything. It wasn't like I'd done that on purpose, and like, you know, it wasn't. If it was caused by like revenge trading or something like that, then I was like, okay, I need to kind of like just go on and do something else, because this is my emotions. I'm an emotional wreck. But something like this is a technical error. You don't have control over this. I can't cry about this. It's done. Like, what can I do now? I can't do anything. I just need to see what I can do now is kind of like navigate you guys through these buys if they play out in the next 4 minutes. That's all I can do, and if that works out, guess what? That'll make me happy, right? But this area should really start holding as a support area. You see very, very massive candles to the top side. Still can't believe I got done dirty like that today. I still can't believe it. Oh gosh. No way. But guys, at least make me a little bit happy and drop a like on the YouTube live stream. Oh gosh, this is the first time this has happened to me, but again, you guys gotta learn from my mistakes. Look at me, I've been trading for so long and something silly like this can still happen to me. Just wow, just wow, just wow. See, that's why trading is so complicated, yeah? When you're all in control, it can still, like, it's a game of psychology. If something like this happens, imagine you have a very nice progress. You're like a winning streak. Everything's managed. Everything's calculated. And then one day, all of a sudden, boom, because of something silly like this, your risk is gone. You've lost way more than what you intended to lose. Like, everything's out of place, if that makes sense, right? It becomes very, very tricky. Very tricky. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Sellers are tired.
Yeah, look at the sellers are tired now. Again, as I said, like, guys, let's actually be logical, right? I know gold has dropped so much, but if you guys do understand how it works, did you really want to execute on a sell position here, sell position there, sell position there? I mean, it becomes very tricky. We've seen something like this play out a million times, actually. That's why we still are so confident in those buys, because I've seen this play out a million times. This is gold. It's a very volatile pair. It likes to push down a lot. And at this point now, after grabbing liquidity in the market, look at that. Liquidity in the market on a daily time frame. That's a lot of liquidity. Maybe we have another reason for gold pushing down that much. Look at the weekly candle as well, right? Look at that. Maybe weekly candle wants to come down, retest something of significant, and then from there start pushing back up, so it doesn't have to come down later in the week to kind of like push all the way back up, right? So look at that. We're still respecting this area after grabbing liquidity. So what's the next part of the equation? Is the NYSE open in the next 2 minutes. At this point, if the momentum comes in, you guys are gonna cash in on something very lovely, very nice buys, and I'm gonna be buys are going to be very nice from here. So let me now show you guys the risk to reward. Look at the structure. If you can keep a nice stop loss below this, look at the risk to reward. Forget the daily highs. Just take it up to your key resistance. It's 200 pips to the top side. And imagine you scale up on this. Crazy, right? Crazy, crazy, crazy. Another minute left. You guys have another minute left. Gosh, man.
My trading view is broken.
Was broken?
Not opening.
Okay, let's see if something like this plays out now with NYSE. But as I said, first you want to see a push down with NYSE. Where was the last bit of area? Okay, now guys, let's start paying attention now. Forget all the other stuff. This was the last bit of an area where sellers took control from, right? You guys agree right here. So now at this point now, you want to see this area being turned into some sort of strong buying area, right? So you want to see buyers take control from this area. And so now you want to see NYSE open, some sort of a nice push down, create a bottom wick. At that point, you know that it doesn't want to come down later on. So you want to see a nice push down now, but a rejection again at the same time. You want to see a rejection, then you want to see a nice close above this area. That's going to give you a lot of confidence to take this all the way to the top side. And you got news coming up as well. So if you can kind of like be in this position before news comes, guess what? With news, guess what? You're going to be in profits. News drops. You're going to take this all the way to the top side at that point. But you want to wait for your confirmations, right? Always have to wait for your confirmations. They are a must. Look at that. Rejection. And now you want to see a nice engulfing bullish candle. I'm going to take a little 0.50 here. You know what? I must... Now I'm playing, guys. 0.50 is too much risk at this point as well. Should I take this? Should I take this position? Let's see if we can take a position here. Let's go and Let's change it to 0.50. But look, honestly, I'm using my MetaTrader 5 on my PC to take anything if I do take it. I'm not using my phone ever again. Honestly, I'm scarred. I'm never using my phone ever again. So I'll open this and I'll take it in front of you guys this time to show you that I'm actually taking it on my PC. It'll make me feel better. So let me go trading, buy stop, new order. There we go, new order. At this point now, we're ready to execute, right? What are we gonna do? So we're gonna buy the market. Okay, stop loss, TP, all of that. We'll put the stop loss below this, right? As I said, it needs to push down first and then start pushing back in. And now we're gonna take a buy position once we see a nice engulfing bullish candle. Simple as that. I'm gonna stack up on this bad boy. Okay, look at this now. Look at these candles. But again, look at the last bit of area where sellers took control from. Right there, right? See, that's where you want to see buyers take control from there. And then from there, you can execute with confidence. Until then, it can become a pullback area. So be a logical thinker. A logical thinker. A very nice buy position can play out here with NYSE open now. This could be news playing out early. Yeah, news comes in the next couple minutes as well. So yeah, hopefully if you start forming higher highs, higher lows from here, yeah, a very nice position here can be taken pretty much. But again, have to be a logical thinker. See where the sellers took control from. Until you actually break above this, you don't have the confirmation, do you? So you need to wait for the confirmation. Until then, this can become a pullback area for momentum to the downside to take over. So you have to just wait now, guys. Wait for the bottom wick to be created. Look at this rejection, very massive rejection. At this point, you don't want to see this being broken. You want to see higher highs being formed above here. It's as simple as that. And then after that, you're going to expect price to at least come up, at least 30 to 40, at least up to this level, right? And then you want price to start playing about this area, and then news can take it back up. That's what you're looking for. Let's see if this plays out for you guys now. I'm looking. Okay, make sure you guys are keeping your eyes on the candles on your MetaTrader 5 charts as well, because trading view is lagging. So make sure you guys are looking at the candles on the MetaTrader 5 so you don't miss anything out, because you don't want to miss anything out. Okay, look at that. See how nice this is now. So what business does price have closing above this? So once it closes above this, another confirmation, right? A nice confirmation, that is. Give me those confirmations. Come on, Goldie. This might be the buy position you guys have been waiting for centuries. There we go. There we go. It's coming now, guys. You're gonna see it. Massive push to the top side. Let's see if it plays out for you guys. You're gonna see me. I'm gonna execute as well with you guys to give you more confidence. You're gonna see a support being formed above here now, but this is very nice, guys. This is a very nice position at this point now. That's why I said, look, if you have patience and you can start taking positions here, this is gonna give you. Ooh, there we go. Look at this beast. I executed on 2 positions here. I'm not gonna lie, but they're gonna be very soon risk-free. But no, at this point, you want to wait for pullbacks and start turning us. You want to see a support being formed here, a retest potentially, and then at that point, you can take it back up all the way to the top side. But you want to wait for the retest, some sort of nice close above this first, and a nice retest. This can really start playing out now. But you want to see another retest as well. And then after that, after the retest, you want to see the highs start to break. Because remember, logical thinking, where is our next confirmation? Closing above this, right? At that point, it makes sense if we close above this. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. But once we close above this, guess what? We can take it all the way to the top side. I'm going to really stack up on this now, though. If we close above that. Oh, I see someone executing. Who's that? I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. There we go. Okay, this might be the rocket ship now. If we can get a nice close above this. Straight up. 100 pips to the top side. If you guys are executing on this. By the way, I don't know why this is all the way up here. The positions are like all the way down there. So we're in like deep profits already. But now again, guys, as I said, look, you want to be a logical thinker, you want to see a nice close above this, because it can very easily just start dumping again. It's gold. It's gold. So once you get a nice close above this, because look, where did sellers take control? In order for us to get a next bit of a confirmation, we need to close above this area here, right? Once we close above there, guess what? Another confirmation. Nice. Until then, have to wait now. First entries were down there, right? Once you started to form this, at this point you have a lot of space. You can give it a lot of space to kind of like breathe. Now next entries you want to take, you have to wait for it, because if you're looking to stack up just like me, because I'm looking to stack up, you want to wait for those confirmations. Make it risk free. Stack risk free. Stack risk free. So you never want to have two positions at the same time, both with risk open, unless they're very tiny positions, right? And I'm looking to not take big positions whatsoever after what's happened to me. So this is kind of more like just to see if my trade works out, basically. Nothing to make me a lot of money or anything like that. But that's it. See, now you want to see a pullback, another nice break to the top side, pullback, and now start forming higher highs. Look, you want to see a nice support being formed somewhere around here, right? And you don't want to see this being violated at this point. And this should become your pullback area. Why does it become your pullback area? You understand sellers take control usually here. You're expecting that pullback, but now you're waiting for this area to break. That's your confirmation to take it all the way to the top side, right? That's how it works. But you want to be super careful, right? Don't jump into anything. Also, guys, if you are stacking, make your trades risk-free. Take another one, secure profits risk-free. This is not financial advice, but this is how I do it. So see my position, profits risk-free. Profits risk-free. If I go in drawdown, guess what? The first position that I secured is going to now cover my drawdown, but the second position I secured is going to keep me in profits. So that's how you stack. You stack, secure profits, risk-free. But if you want to hold and you have the confidence to hold, then that's you. But that's really not me. I don't have the confidence to hold on gold. That's very dangerous. And very scary. Not just dangerous, it's very scary as well. But yeah, this should really start working out over here now. We got news kicking in as well. Watch, we're going to see 100 pips to the top side today. We are going to see 100 pips. But if it breaks these lows now, it's going to just be annoying. But this is where you should start forming support and go all the way to the top side. I'll be very happy once we see those 100 pips to the top side. I can feel it, guys. It's coming. 100 pips to the top side are coming today. Oh, gosh. My Ftmo server is not even working anymore. They're like, DA, you seem so happy after taking such a crazy, stupid loss. Oh, I didn't have any control over it, guys. That's the thing. That's how trading works. Psychology is a game of psychology. Either you can cry about it or you can make it work, right? Now something like this, let's see if our analysis play out. That's going to give us more confidence for tomorrow. It's as simple as that. Okay, you got another couple minutes left for the news to drop, and then let's see if you can see a nice push to the top side at that point. 2 o'clock. This is your new 15 minute forming a bond wick potentially. Let's look at the 15 minute. So you do have a bottom wick as well as the upper wick, but you don't want to see this being violated at this point. Because I want to take positions before news as well. At this point, look, you are expecting that pullback, but you don't want to see this being violated. If you guys do see this being violated, I would recommend that you manage positions, but you should start forming a support around here somewhere and start breaking all highs. And then with the news, hopefully we can get a very nice push to the top side. Very nice push to the top side. So hopefully with the news, we can see a massive, 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 massive rally to the top side. Let's see, let's see, let's see, let's see. Can we see that? Can we see that? But as I said, in order for us to stack, we need to see a close above this, need some more confirmation. One position was here good, make sure it's risk-free, secure profits, stack, risk-free, secure profits, stack, risk-free, secure profits. But if you have the confidence to hold this, then that's you, my friend, that's not me. If you really want, you can wait. The big news is in 20 minutes. Yeah, that's what we're waiting for. We're expecting news to push this all the way up, hopefully. So look, again, forming support literally where we formed a leg up from was. So yeah, there you go. Buyers are still taking control here, so that's good. There we go. Amazing. Amazing. Now, the only thing that's missing is this. That's the next equation. Need to see a close above it. And then there's more confirmation to the top side. We have liquidity in the market. Once we get the news dropping with the liquidity, it will be very beautiful, right? But you have to wait. Have to wait. Need to have patience. Because we might see the entries coming in when the news drops. Until then, we need to have patience. It doesn't make sense to just stack here because you're predicting, right? For nice stacks were down there, secured, risk-free. Now more stacks up here, secured, risk-free. But you have to wait. Even though it looks really good, it's going in our way, we have to still wait for that confirmation. It's a game of probability. Within the range, yeah, this gives us a nice confirmation, but it's not a strong enough confirmation. Close above there, that's a nice confirmation. Nice confirmation. Let's see. As long as we don't violate this, we should be good. But again, you got another 1 minute left for the new 15-minute open. Let's see what the next 15-minute does. Right now, it's just consolidating. It's not forming new lows. It's not forming new highs. I mean, it did break the structure here, so it technically did form a new high, right? But it didn't close above it. So that's the thing. You want to see a nice close above it. Until then, it's not forming higher highs and higher lows. But I want to see something like this really so I can stack up. Come on, gold. Give us that nice stack. Come on, Goldilocks. Give us that nice stack. Okay. Are we going to close below this or are we going to reject from here? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Still within this consolidation. News drops in another couple minutes. We got the new 15-minute opening as well, so you want to see a nice bottom wick at this point. Be super careful though with the news if there is no bottom wick. So we want to see a nice bottom wick and then a nice push up. But yeah, guys, honestly, today might be the day we see the gold playing to the top side. Have to see and wait for this confirmation. This confirmation here, I'll definitely stack up over here though. But until then, just have to wait for this extra bit of confirmation. It's just those little things over there. They gave you those extra confirmations, literally. Look, at the moment, you haven't closed below this. It's just a retest, potentially forming a double bottom here. But if you do start closing below it, then guess what? The probability is to the downside, and maybe you have to wait for news to break. And then when you have the news open, at that point, you're going to wait for the candle to close? No, because it will be so volatile that it will just push all the way to the top side. It's not going to close, but before that you have to wait for the closes. So you have to always make it make sense, right? Before news, does it make sense to just take an impulsive entry without closing? No. But with the news open, can you do that? Yeah, sure you can. Sure you can. Can we see a nice reversal candle from here, pushing all the way to the top side at this point? Or is it going to start dropping now, and then with the news you're going to get the open? But honestly, I don't want to see it drop anymore. Literally, I want to see this area really hold. But with the 15 minute, let's look at the bottom wick as well. Yeah, there is no upper wick. Look at that. There is no upper wick either. So it's forming the bottom wick first. That's nice. No upper wick either. So let's see how big the bottom wick is. After that is going to come, create the upper wick with the news open, and then hopefully give us that push. You know, I'll be completely honest. I would really like it to stay here and not form the bottom wick, upper wick just yet. And then maybe with the news, when we start forming the upper wick and then start coming all the way back up, that'll be so volatile. But this area should really hold. See this, right? Forming a double bottom here. They should really hold. They should not break this area. But we need to see volatility kick in. Right now there is no volatility in the market, so the markets are ranging. Let's see. Today could be a prime example of patience pays in the markets. Patience pays in the market. Today could be a prime example of that, honestly. Let's see though. Let's see. But yeah, let me also make it easier with the news open. Position like this makes a lot of sense, right? But again, this area is where your probability is. If you break above this, probability increases. If you stay below this, the probability is not on either side, right? Because you're within the range. That's why when the news comes, are we going to wait for the close of this? Kind of like going to take an impulsive entry, right? Because the volatility will be there. But until then, the volatility is not there. You just have to wait for it to do its thing. Something like this would be really good. But above this, double top area. What exactly is the news? ADP. Okay, that was the ADP and ISM service PIM. Was it the forecast was previous? So it was actually very stable, very stable. So it should not mess up our technical analysis. That's the best thing about it. Look at that, it's very stable news event. So our technical analysis should be good. The fundamentals should just like drive the price up. Hopefully, let's see if we can do that. All the way up, all the way up, all the way up. This area needs to hold. This area needs to hold. You want to see a nice engulfing bullish candle, but you want to see a nice wick as well to the downside. So at that point, you can use this as a stop loss. First area, you want to see this break, right? Once we break this area, we can kind of like come up, and then from there form another nice bottom wick, kind of like rejecting. And then at that point you want to see a nice close above this. You want to see a retest of this at that point, look something like this, break up. Then you want to see those tiny candles, rejection from both sides, right? And then you want to see a candle breaking above that rejection, giving you another confirmation and clearing this range. Probabilities on your side. This is what you want to see with news. At that point, you're expecting price to push all the way up. You're expecting big candles, right? Big candles. Maybe something like this is not accurate, but yeah, something like that is what we are waiting for. This area needs to hold. This area needs to hold. If this area breaks, you need to understand what's the next key area where you can take the bias from. But at this point, I'm really not interested in sells. I've not been interested in sells the whole day because it's very choppy price action. Very choppy price action. Look at that, right? Do you want to take sells here? First rejection, 2, 3, no clear direction, one break. Again, you're gonna take it here. After you reject, no confirmation for sell. Is all just rangy. Up here, look at that again, range. Cool. You're gonna take a sell position here. This was your retest candle. You're gonna take it on the break of this. Stop loss above here. Again, you get stuck in the range. So until you actually like taking positions and you're like holding these, it doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense. You gotta be holding them. Gotta be holding them, man. But again, same thing playing out again. See that, right? Range, break, choppy action. It might go down a little bit more, start pushing up. But you want to see this area at this point being respected. And then with the news, if this area gets respected, we're going all the way to the top side, right? As long as we respect this area. Look at that, another rejection from this. This is very nice so far. As long as we don't break below this area, again, this is 1 minute time frame, so you're giving this whole area some room to breathe, right? This becomes the breathing room that you want to give this area, because it's the 1 minute time frame. It can kind of like wake you out if you put your stop loss literally right below this, but this should be your stop loss area, right? But you want to give it a little bit more room to breathe, and at that point you're looking to take it back up. But you have to wait. Patience pays. Really does pays. That really does pay. Look at that, the area is still holding, but you're waiting for volatility to kick in, which kicks in the next 9 minutes, as you guys can see right there. And if this works out, it will be a very, very nice trade. If it doesn't work out, guess what? It is what it is. It's part of the game, but you was disciplined enough to wait for your setup. And if it works out, it's going to make you very happy, and it's going to pay you big time, right? Because I can show you guys another thing. Let's say if you wanted to execute on a sell position. Where were you going to execute on a sell position today? Like, I know some of you guys must have some sort of FOMO. Were you going to execute on a sell position here below the daily lows? When there was another rejection here, look, literally this is what you got, right? You got your first leg down, pull up again, consolidation, 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 consolidation. Yeah, this is not very clean. I don't think you guys can see that. I'll show you on the other charts. They will be much more cleaner. Look, let me just clean this everything. So we make sense out of this, right? Look, were you really looking to take a sell position here, right? Look, you understand that daily lows were around here somewhere. Look at that. Cool. You got your first leg down. When did our session open, by the way? Let me also show you when our session opened. And by the way, we got 7 minutes left, guys, for the news to drop. 7 minutes left. Session open literally right here, if I can check the timing. So our session actually opens at 12:30 now, right? This is when our session opened. So cool. You're expecting price to create that bottom wick, right? And daily lows were, I think, all the way down here. Were you gonna take a sell position here when one candle did not even engulf these previous two candles? It was 2 candles that it took to engulf this. So cool. Let's say you was thinking that, okay, this was your first try to form an upper wick, right? First try to form an upper wick, and guess what? Price couldn't form an upper wick, and then you're saying, okay, the momentum is still to the downside. What's the most relevant area where it's biased to control from? This area. So look, you're waiting for this to kind of like break, and you're waiting for a retest, right? You want to at least wait for a retest, because look how this candle was. It wasn't even engulfing anything, was it? Just a very clean, tiny candle. That's what it was. Next one doesn't even have an upper wick. Are you going to take a position here? Cool. Let's say you take a position there. Stop loss above the structure, 30 pips. This could work out. But again, you're in a consolidation now. Cool. Now you wait for the break of the consolidation. This is where you got the break. After that, again, pull back. And then again, choppy, choppy, choppy. This is all choppy price action. You guys got to understand. Gold will give you clean candles. Let me show you what we are trying to catch. See this right here? This is what I'm waiting for. Clean candles. Look at that. Big candles. See this? Massive clean candles. Something like this can play out with the news. If this plays out, guess what? Happy days. Look at this. Clean bullish candles. Clean bullish candles. Today you didn't get something like that. You just had very constant choppy candles printing to the downside. And it was a very nice move to the downside. Don't get twisted. It pushed down more than 100 pips. But again, guys, it becomes very tricky to catch this, right? Because you go to the daily time frame and you're being super careful, because you're going to put your money on the line. You're not just gambling, right? So let's remove everything. Look, previous daily candle rejected from here. Are you going to take a sell position above here? This was the current daily candle, right? We was around here somewhere. So like when our session opened, I think we was around here somewhere. So let's be precise and see where we was when our session opened. So this is kind of how you understand what you missed out on and what you could have capitalized on, right? So let's see when our session opened. It opened at half 12, and let's see where we was. So our session opened at half 12 right here. This is when our session opened. This was the open candle right here. Look at that, right? So this is kind of where we was when our session opened, right? At this point, look, what are you expecting? The first thing you're expecting is a bottom wick. Yes or no? You're expecting a bottom wick, right? And look, are you in an uptrend or in a downtrend? Look at the trend. So look, okay, cool. This is the lows of the downtrend right here. This is now where your session opens. This is the lows of the downtrend. At this point, cool, you're like, this was your first try to kind of form the upper wick. It failed to do that, and now you're like, okay, cool, if we can kind of like start breaking below this, at that point you're waiting for some sort of retest to take it back up. Look, cool, you're like, this is the downside. Now can we clear this? We have another 4 minutes left for the news, by the way. This is how you go over your session, right? You're like, okay, now at this point, now this is us violating the structure lows. So we're violating where the buying momentum kicked in from. At this point now, you're looking to see, can the selling pressure kick in from this area? Can this area be an area of significance? You're like, okay, look what's the first thing happened when we broke out of it. Massive rejection, right? Massive rejection. So you understand that, cool, bias to control here. At this point now, you're looking to see, can sellers actually take over this area? You see this, yeah, you got a very nice close below this. Very nice close below this. But again, did you at least get a retest? Didn't even get a retest today. How are you going to execute on something like this? The only thing you can do is literally just take a trade on the break of this, and then kind of like expect it to keep on pushing down, keep a very big stop loss, and let's see if the 1-to-1s could have gone hit. This could have been a winning position with a 1-to-1, but again, guys, what's the risk to reward? Look at the risk to reward. Do you want to capitalize on something like this when the key area is literally right there? So didn't make sense, right, in my opinion. And then after that, cool, you're like looking to see, okay, cool, now this is the next area. What's the area below that? Let's see if we can find the area below that. Look at this now. We're literally tapping into this support area. We know that price usually rejects off of this area. Let me tell you why I'm not looking for sales, so it makes a little bit more sense to you guys, right? Look at that. Numerous rejections around this area. Numerous rejections. We can see price usually comes down to this area, and then you see heavy rejections, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. Now we have liquidity in the market, and we're kind of like approaching this area because technically this is the most recent support, right? You can see numerous rejections around here as well. So this becomes your support area that you're tapping into now. After this is your liquidity in the market. Look at this, right? That's liquidity in the market. And now you're tapping into a support area. Now what's the next thing you're waiting for? You're waiting for momentum to kick in so you can cash in on something like this. Catching gold all the way from the downside. Is that not like the best thing to do? Something like this, look, all the way to the daily highs, because you understand the daily candle was able to go up to this area and like, you know, so at this point you understand on the daily time frame is clean traffic. So do you guys see kind of why I did not take the sells and why I am kind of looking for buys? It's as simple as that. Look, you gotta understand, as a trader you need to see what sort of setups are you profitable with. What risk to reward is subjective, as you can manage risk. Yeah, sure, you can manage risk, but the way we trade, we like to catch hundreds and hundreds of pips, right? So I have to come onto the charts every single day. I'm like, okay, I want to stick to 1 to 2 trades a day. Can catching sells give me those 100 pips? Okay, catching buys give me those 100 pips. And then I'm like, okay, what's the most logical thing to do? Okay, our session open here. One rejection on a daily candle is right there. Look at that. It's very unfortunate that gold wanted to push down a lot, but look, you had a rejection there, you had a rejection there. Looking to the top side, it was clean traffic, literally clean traffic. You want to see where you have a clean range, right? Where the rejections are. To the downside, there was many rejections, and now if you go down to the lower time frames, look at that. Each time you actually got a rejection from there. So this is it. This is news now. Are we going to push down and we're going to start going up? This is it now. As I said, you want to see a pullback. At this point now, you want to see news pushing price all the way to the top side. All the way to the top side. Stop losses obviously below this structure, not below the wick. I'm not going to keep a stop loss below the wick. This was because of the news we pushed down. Now you want to see price breaking these highs so we can start executing. But these highs need to be broken. Until then, you don't want to touch this. If you can break these highs, this structure becomes the stop loss, but not this wick. But until then, you have to let it go down, let it do its thing. But this is when the probability goes up once we break these highs. And structure lows should become the stop loss, not the wick. because the wick is not accurate. This is just news making that wick, right? This is a news wick, fundamental wick. It's not your technical wick. So let's see now. Can you see a lot of momentum to the top side at this point? Start scaling up on this bad boy. Can you see that or not? You have to wait and see. Have to wait and see. You want to see a nice engulfing bullish candle now, closing back above. Look, where was the last bit of area where sellers took control from? The most recent area. Let's quickly go back. Look at that right there. Can we get a nice close above this? That will give us some probability on our side. If you get a nice close above that. But first of all, you want to wait, right? Look what news has done. It's created that bottom wick, which is lovely. Looking at the 30 minutes now, you have that bottom wick. You want to see pressure to the top side at this point now. As I said, something like this, these positions are not normal. You want to see something like this, stop loss in the same place, rejection here. Can we see a double bottom being formed, or is it just going to drop? But as I said, not interested in sells whatsoever. Can we form a double bottom here? This is you asking a question as a trader and having patience, not letting FOMO get to you. And now if you see something like this being formed, closing back above, breaking these highs, that's a signal to take it to the top side, right? I don't even care. Go, 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 gold. Let's go to the top side, gold. Again, look at this. Last bit of area, is this going to turn into resistance? We don't want this to turn into resistance at that point, potentially coming down. So if you guys want to execute on a sell position, that's up to you, right? But again, I told you why I'm not looking for sells. Risk to reward. That's what trading is about. Buyers make sense. We are very fluid in the market, but again, need to make it make sense. At this point now, look, they should potentially become a rocket ship and start pushing all the way to the top side. Stack, 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 stack. Soon just stack, 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 stack. Probability should increase if we close above this. More probability above that. And then after that, you're waiting for the pullbacks and kind of like taking up to daily highs, right? But first, probability increases once we close above that. Structured lows should become the stop loss. And even if this becomes your entry, stop loss this can be your stop loss, but it will be a little bit bigger. So you'll have to manage your positions for sure. But again, if you're using magic keys to execute, it shouldn't be a big deal, right? But now look at this. Here, if you get close below this, same scenario again, what we just went over, right? If you get close below this, sellers are in control. Until then, buyers are in control. This is your pullback. You want to see if we close above this, again, probability on our side. Very simple. Very, very simple. Come on, news. What are we going to do? Are we going to do something? As I said, news was very, very stable, so you're not going to see something that's very insane. You're just going to see technical analysis being respected. That's the thing, right? But again, you're going to get that push with the news, and especially look at the time as well at this point. So now you're looking to see, is this area going to be respected, or are you going to close below this area? Or you're going to retest this and start pushing up. That's exactly what you're looking to see, right? And you can see maybe something like this can be executed. Now even something like this makes sense if it works out. Because again, where was the area where sellers took control? Right here. Can we get close above this? That's the question we're asking. And now at this point, stop loss can even be a little bit tighter. So even better for you if it works out, right? Otherwise, you have to let it go. This looks like, someone said this looks like gambling to me. Us not taking the sells looks like gambling to you. No, taking the sells will be gambling for me because I see so many rejections on the daily time frame. But waiting for the confirmations to take the buys, how is that gambling? That's not gambling. We're waiting for confirmations. When we see confirmations, we got confidence. That's not gambling. That's your analysis working out. But wait for it to work out. This is how technical analysis work. You're forming a double bottom here. If you start breaking above this, guess what? Momentum is to the top side. Probabilities on your side. Selling here will be gambling, no? Because there is no confirmations to sell. This does not seem like gambling to me. If you get a nice close above this, or maybe you're saying that selling is gambling. This is just very intense because it's a minute time frame. So every single minute you're looking for new confirmations. That's all it is. If this is too intense for you, trade the 30 minutes. You have to wait every 30 minutes. Look, you could just wait for this to close massive engulfing bullish candle at that point, take a position, put a stop loss below it. But we just trade 1 minute time frame. That's kind of how we get our sniper entries, right? But have to wait for those confirmations. Need to make it make sense. Look, it was the last bit of an area where sellers took control from right here. So if you can get a nice close above this, look, that's probability to the buying side, right? Retest this, close above this, that's more probability. It's a game of probability. Gambling is you going into markets blindly. I just literally did the whole analysis. This is not gambling. I told you why I didn't take the sell position. That would have been gambling for me, taking a sell position. When price was literally here, there was a rejection here, there was a rejection there. That would have been a gambling for me. Looking at the risk to reward, this is the best position in my eyes. And potentially the recovery could be now, right? Look at the time as well. This was a 200 pips candle. So the recovery can, even 50% recovery is going to give you 100 pips from here if you get that recovery though. But again, as I said, look at this, think logically. Where's the probability? Probability is right here. Can we break this? If not, we form a double top here. We're breaking below this. Probabilities to the downside. Playing a game of probability. So not executing until the probability is there. If it's serious trading, right? If you're just having fun and you're taking positions, that's different, right? But if you're actually having some sort of serious trading session here, you're waiting for probability to be on your side to execute. But again, do you want to take a sell position when gold has dropped 200 pips now? This seems like FOMO to me, right? Catching sells here. Sure, momentum is to the downside now, but it seems like FOMO to me. News. What are you gonna do to us? Again, probability. Where is the probability? We're in a range. Look at that. Rejection, pullback, breaking below this. Got close below this yet? No. Didn't get close below this. Let's see, we can take an impulsive entry here. Let's see what happens. Just for the sake of taking an impulsive entry, right? I'm not taking this, by the way. Just forward testing. Let's see if it worked out. It's called forward testing. So, yeah. Cool. At this point, look, probability is on the selling side, right? So we're playing a game of probability. But I'm not looking for sells, so I'm not going to execute on this. But again, it's a game of probability. At this point now, look, probability is on the selling side. You're retesting this, breaking below this. Let's see if it plays out. Stop loss goes above the structure, as usual. If I want to take a sell position, I would take something like this, right? It's a game of probability. Probability is on the selling side. But do you want to do that when gold has dropped like 200 pips? That's up to you. I'm still craving those buys from here though. That's what I'm looking for. Still that buy setup kind of like engulfs everything to the left. But it's very easy, very easy if you want to kind of just trade. Look, you got to understand another thing. You guys got to see, what's your trading plan? Are you looking to just catch those 1-to-1 and not catch those extra pips, or are you actually trying to pretty much catch 100 pips every day? For me, I want to catch 100 pips every day. So literally the thing is, right, it's very easy to be profitable if you have discipline as well. Sometimes I even do struggle with the discipline part of things. I'll be completely honest. I sometimes do struggle with it as well, because sometimes you're like, okay, I want to take another trade, I want to take another trade, I want to take another trade. But then when something like this is happening, you're not having FOMO. This is you working on your discipline, right? Look, even though I understand this trade can play out, but the bias that I have from daily to 1 minute, I'm like, no, I don't want to execute on something like this. I want to execute on something like this, which is a buy position, right? That's what trading is about. It's very simple. But let's see, just for the sake of taking these positions, let's just see if it would have worked out, right? Just in case you guys think not taking sells means you're missing out. Let's just see. Because this is a forward testing position. I've not executed on it. So at this point now, you have to ask questions again. Look, you're being very intense. You're like, okay, sellers took control here, did a retest. You're getting your second retest now, kind of forming a double top. Can we start breaking these lows to start pushing down? That's your next question, right? As soon as you start breaking these lows, that's more confirmation, right? But you want to see, you want to look for those confirmations again and again. If we can start breaking these lows, that's confirmation. Start breaking those highs, then at that point, look, probability goes to buying side. So it's very simple. Let's see what this candle does. Either it's going to break the lows or it's going to break to the top side. Very simple, right? Well, if it breaks to the top side, two questions you're asking. Is there a deeper pullback, or are you going to start violating the structure highs? And now if you was in this position, your one-to-one has not been hit just yet. So you're still holding this, right? But at this point, you're thinking, oh my gosh, gold has dropped 100 pips. Do I want to hold this? Is my confidence there? And I'll tell you one thing after this stream.
What up?
I'll tell you after the stream.
It's a secret.
Nah.
Exciting.
Let's see, guys, if the sales work out here, right? Because the probability is to the downside. So let's see if it works out. Honestly, it's just a game of probability. If you keep it simple, you'll keep it simple. Why did I not take the buys? Because I want to cash in on those big moves. Could I have taken the sells and made my one-to-ones? For sure. Is that what my objective is? You understand, what's your objective for the day? Is it just to catch that one-to-one? The way our trading strategy works, the runners are very crucial. Over long term, that's kind of what dictates our R to R. So our R to R, to be nice, we need to cash in on those big moves, right? So sometimes you have to be willing to miss out on something like this, which is tiny. Again, as you can see, we can execute on something like this as well if we do want to. But we are willing to miss out on this because we don't have any FOMO. But let's see if you guys executed on this. Let's see if your one-to-ones get hit, right? If you was looking for those sells, look, probability again on your side, close below this, right? You're breaking below this again now. Look at this, again, probability is on selling side now, right? Game of probability. Let me make it very easy for you guys how to understand where the probability is. Last sort of area where sellers took control and then try to break down from here, right? Also, we do understand that we've gotten 2 rejections from this area now. So let's see where the probability is. So 2 rejections from the downside, 1 rejection up here. Actually, this bearish candle did reject from here as well. So now let's see. Are we going to close above this area, giving probability back to buyers, or are the sells going to work out? Let's see. Look at that now. Probability is going back to the buying side again, right? At this point now, for me, if I was in this, I'll be shaking because my bias is not sells, is buys. But if I was to stick to buys, I'll be like, okay, this is nice. Now it's coming up. I can start looking for my setup. That's what trading is. It's very simple if you keep it simple, right? Now you want to take sells. Guys, we're not in sells. Did you guys? Guys, this is not sells. This is forward testing. I said we are not taking sells. We are not taking sells. We have not taken sells. We have not taken anything here. This is forward testing. I'm trying to make a point. Someone said now you want to take sells. And then she put an emoji as well of, you know, the person smacking their head. We are not in a sell position. This is forward testing. My gosh. Please listen to everything I say. This is not a signal either. We are not in a sell position. I'm teaching you guys something here. This is me teaching you something. This is forward testing. I said I will not execute on a sell position today 1,000,000 times. I have not executed on a sell position here. I'm trying to make sense out of this for you guys. So how you guys see how our strategy works, because this week we're going to make a video on how to trade our strategy. So I'm just trying to teach you guys something here. It's very simple. I'm trying to teach you how in 1 minute we can use probability to our favor. That's how it works. It's a game of probability, right? Look, again, you're forming another rejection from the same area. Where did the buyers take control? Buyers took control right there. No, you don't want to see this area being violated. Otherwise, this is your next leg down. It's just very intense, but it makes sense, right? So if you see another leg down, that's giving you more confidence that your TP will get hit if you're taking a sell position here. Look at that now. Again, see, this was the area, right, where sellers took control recently. We still respected this area. Previous candle didn't break the highs, faking out this candle, breaking all the way to the downside. At this point now, if we close below this again, guess what? You know that now probability is on your side again, and you're going straight to the TP. I'm just trying to teach you guys something here. I am not in a sell position. This is for educational purposes only. Look, as I said, if you took a sell position here, I'm kind of like trying to show you how to work this out. So let's say next time I'm not here and you're trading this strategy, you know how to trade this strategy, right? Because it is very intense. It's not just the 1 minute you're looking at top-down analysis. So why am I staying out of this? Because I'm looking for something like this. It's very simple. I'm looking for something like this. I'm willing to miss out on sales. But if you are someone that doesn't have patience to wait for the buyers and you just want to take a sell position, I'm trying to make sense out of this, right? That's what it is. I'm not saying take sells or take buys. I'm telling you what I'm interested in. I'm interested in these buys. If they work out, very well. If they don't work out, I don't have FOMO, right? That's it. But if you guys have FOMO and you want to take a sell position here because you was expecting news to drive the price up, which we was, right? And you're like, okay, news has not done that now, so that means price is going to go down. So if you want to execute on something like this, I'm trying to make it work for you. I'm trying to help you here. What's your win rate? And do you want to tell them what our win rate is? If we're sensible traders, we stick to the strategy. And
We're sensible, no emotion, and sensible, waiting for the confirmation at the the right spot, and taking one trade a day. The win rate is 80%.
Exactly, and you gotta understand our risk to reward, the R to R is very good as well. And how do we get the R to R? By cashing in on those big moves. Guys, this is our strategy. This is just how we trade our strategy. Just because we're not catching buys or sells doesn't mean that the strategy is not good. It's just that our strategy tells us to cash in on those big moves. And so when we see our confirmation to cash in on those big moves, we're going to take it. It's a game of psychology. You got to understand that, right? You got to understand, cool, what's the biggest move that you can cash in on? And if that's how your strategy works, then you wait for it. If you're just here on the market every single day, oh, what's happening here? Did my MetaTrader 5 start again or something? Oh yeah, it's closed. But yeah, as I said, look, it's about your strategy. How does your strategy work? What the heck is happening with this, man? Let me just close this again. There we go. Close now, right? Yeah, it's closed now. But yeah, as I said, guys, look, you gotta understand one thing, right? If you keep up with us, keep up to date with us, we actually catch 100 pips every other day, if not every day, right? How do we manage to do that? By sticking to those confirmations. We can very easily come onto the markets and catch something like this, right? Look, as I said, as long as we respect this, the probability is on your side and your TP will get hit. And at this point now, if you cashed in on those sells, look, your 1-to-1 might get hit. But again, is it realistically going to give you 100 pips to the downside? Even if it gets hit, right? Not really. I mean, it can happen because it's gold. But now if the bias was to work out, can it realistically talking, give you 100 pips to the top side? Most definitely. But this is kind of me forward testing and showing you, look, we can trade both ways. We are very fluid, but we are very disciplined at the same time. If I don't want to take sells due to my reasonings, I'm not going to take sells. It's as simple as that. If I want to stick to buys, I'll stick to buys. Doesn't mean that we can't trade sells. We can trade sells. Look at that. At this point now, you wouldn't want to make it risk-free, right? If you executed on this trade and your TP is about to get hit. And this was 30 pips we just called out right there. But did we execute on it? No. Would I have executed on it? No. Because it's not what I'm looking for. It's very simple. Again, playing the game of probability. Where is the probability? As long as we respect this area, the probability is to the downside, right? It's a game of probability. You mark this again. I'm trying to teach you guys how to trade this, right? Look, at this point now, you're very close to your TP. How close are you to your TP? Look at this. Literally 3 pips away from your TP. What's the most logical thing to do? Make it risk-free. And now just let it play out. And that's your TP about to get hit if you took the sales Could I have taken this? Yes. Would I take this? No. And that's the TP hit. So that's a winning trade, right? Do I care? No. Because realistically, again, yeah, even though my 1-2-1 would have gotten hit, is this going to give me 100 pips? No, look at this. As soon as the 1-2-1 got hit, now this is my runner running, right? So let's just say for the, as an example, this is my runner running. And look at this momentum switch now. Look at this bullish candle. Now, let's say this is my runner now. I don't want to see my runner getting tapped. If my runner gets tapped, it's gonna mess up my R to R ratio, right? My risk to reward. But now if the buys work out and I can cash in on that, kind of being disciplined and not over trading, guess what? That'll be amazing, right? That's what it is. It depends on your trading plan. How many trades can you take? If you can only take 2 trades, are you gonna take a high probability setup, or you're gonna just take whatever comes your way? It's very simple. Very, very simple. Do you guys have any questions? I see we still have 34 people watching us. Do you guys have any sort of questions? Any questions you have, ask us. Ask us, ask us, ask us.
Now's the time.
Now's the time, now's the time, now's the time. Look, we're giving you free education here. Ask us if you have any questions here. This is a very nice strategy. If you can master this, you can pretty much trade anything, downside and the upside. But again, as I said, there is many things which are part of the equation. Whereas like your top-down analysis, what are you sticking to? What is your discipline? What do you like to do? What are you comfortable with? For me, I'll be completely honest. I could have traded the sells very easily, actually. I could have caught the sells all the way up from up here. But was I comfortable with this? No, I wasn't comfortable with this. That's the thing, right? How far will it go down? How far will it go down? Let's see. If it wants to go down, how far can it go down? Look, it's tapping into this rejection area. So now, I mean, from here, this is it, right? This is your rejection area. Below this, the next rejection area. Where is the next rejection area? It's all the way down there. If we start breaking this rejection area, but what's happening around this rejection area is price is forming higher highs and higher lows, right? So again, we do understand it's a game of probability. Where was the last area where sellers took control from, and then from there formed a new lower low? It was this area right here, right? Now at this point, again, a game of probability. You're tapping into a very strong area on the daily time frame right here, and at this point now, if you start to violate this, guess what's going to happen? Price is going to come up, right? And probability goes on the buying side. Do you guys understand how you can always switch up and be fluid in the market? A lot of echo on your voice. Really? Ange, is there echo when I'm talking?
Well, not from me.
Maybe you got like 2 streams running or something. Why trade with 1 minute candles? Because you get your confirmations every single minute. Look, let's say if you was waiting for a 30-minute candle now, right? Let me give you an example. But that's the thing, right? This is very intense. Nobody trades this way. So in order for you to kind of like wait for your confirmation, you want to wait for this candle to close, right? That's when you can have that confirmation. Otherwise, it's an impulsive entry. But look at that. For us, we just have to wait for 1 minute candle to close, and that's our confirmation right there. That's how we get those sniper entries. And look, now at this point, as I said, game of probability. Are we going to break above this after tapping into a key area? Look, I'm also going to take a trade here, forward test this for just to show you how amazing this strategy is, right? I'm going to forward test this as well. What's the first thing price has done now? Formed a new high, kind of like breaking out of this area, right? We understand usually sellers take control here. Now, what do you want to see? You want to see this candle retest the lows, kind of like retesting the support area, not breaking this, keeping this area respecting this area, and then starting to break those highs. At that point, guess what? We're going to take something like this and show you how 1-to-1 will get hit again. And now this time you're using the key area as a confluence as well, right? So let's see. Now we're going to take a position to the top side once we break those highs, right? Let me show you. No, maybe because she got no headphones. Yeah, maybe you got no headphones. That's why you're seeing the echo. So yeah, let me just show you guys how nice this strategy is. If you can master this, and you have that confirmation from, you know, those higher time frames as well. See how this strategy works. Look, at this point, again, where did the sellers take control? Right there, right? Looking to the left, this was a very nice strong area. So what are you expecting now? A pullback, not a rejection. What's a rejection? It becomes a rejection if you start to violate the lows. Until then, this becomes a pullback. Why does it become a pullback? Because you've tapped into this area where sellers are sitting. Over here, sellers are executing their orders because this is the consolidation, this is the range, this is the downside of the range, this is the top side of the range. So now let's see what happens once we break above this and close above this, and the probability goes on our side. So at this point now, we're going to execute on something like this. So even before I've executed on this, I've told you guys, right? I'm going to execute on this. But until then, until the confirmation is there, can we execute on this? No. That's where the discipline part comes in. Do you guys have any questions? We're going to let this play out, this trade. We're going to let this play out right now in front of your eyes. Look, we gave one sell position, right? Kind of like forward tested it. It worked out. Let's now forward test a buy position just by using the probabilities. If you guys have any questions, go ahead, ask us.
We're on the grill.
Yeah, let's do it. Because at this point, again, the session has ended, right? So we can kind of give you,
don't trade after this time.
so we can give you some tips, but that's about it, right? So show you how the strategy actually works and how accurate this strategy is. Again, playing the game of probability, seeing where the sellers are executing orders, seeing where the buyers are executing orders, with having top-down analysis, matching the confluences from top to down, you should be good to go, right? Should be good to go. And again, as I said, look, if you took this trade, right, your 1-to-1 got hit, your partial position got stopped up. Why did it get stopped up? Because again, you're realistically not expecting 100 to 200 pips to the downside, right? As I said, realistically, what are you expecting? For me, I'm not expecting 100 to 200 pips to the downside realistically. I wasn't expecting that the whole day, to be honest. I'll be completely honest. I mean, I wasn't expecting it as in like I wasn't looking to cash in on it because it's very choppy, right? The only thing that could have really worked was my 1-to-1. That's where you understand what sort of mindset are you going in with. Are you trying to cash in on those big moves, or are you just trying to cash your 1-to-1s? If you're trying to cash in on those 1-to-1s, you can be very fluid with this strategy. And guys, we're going to make a video on this strategy, me and Ange. We have all the data. We've back tested every single thing. So make sure you guys stay tuned. We're going to actually make the video this Saturday. The video will be out this Saturday. So again, playing a game of probability. What are you doing right now? Understand what sort of market condition you're in. You're in a range. You are in a range. At the moment, can you trade the range? No. You have to wait for the probability to be in your favor. Now you're looking for higher highs and higher lows to be formed. This is the low you have formed. This is a new low you're forming, which is a higher low, right? At this point, you want to see another higher high being formed. At that point, probability is on your side again because you understand how structure moves. It moves in waves. So in order for you to have sustainable structure, you need to form a high, form a low. Form a high, again, form a low. Form a high, again, form another low. Maybe even this time break the structure, grab some liquidity, stop some people out. That's how trading works, right? And on the 1 minute time frame, guess what? Every single minute gives you new information. And if the volatility meets all of your confirmations, you can execute with so much confidence. But at this point, look, there is no volatility left in the market. Maybe the next minute open can give you that bottom wick and then give you that nice push up. So we're going to look to execute on this if it works out nice. Otherwise, at least you guys understand the strategy a little bit though, right? And see why we did not execute on a sell position today. I got clapped big time today, Ange. Big time.
Me too. I wasn't that behave.
No, but me, it wasn't the fact that I wasn't behaved. It was the fact because
Oh,
of the
that
technique.
the
Yeah, it kind of messed up the
dial.
whole. It messed up the whole thing. It wasn't because
Oh,
of the
shit.
behave. It messed up the whole thing. I'll tell you.
It's those little trades that popped up, no?
What happened was, after the technical error, it just became a bad day, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. So that's why I'm viewing close the matter trade of 5, not even looking for anything. Kind of like, so look, even a missed opportunity is a loss, in my opinion. if you have taken a silly trade and you have a miss opportunity, that's also like a loss in my opinion, because you're missing out on the potential move that you should have cashed in on. So that's why for me to actually execute on Xauusd today, I was missing out this whole opportunity to cash in on these buys. You guys got to always understand every single thing matters in trading, because you don't have to take a trade every single day. You really don't have to take a trade every single day. You can be an intraday trader, right? And take maybe trade every other day and then hold it for a day. You could be a swing trader, where swing traders only take trades every weeks or even months, right?
Yeah.
So you don't actually have to take a trade every day. But when you are looking to take a trade every day, it has to be very intense. There has to be a plan that you have to follow to the T. Everything needs to make sense. You can't just come into the market every single day and execute. It needs to make sense. You'll see us tomorrow. We'll be back again, and we might catch in on 300-400 pips tomorrow. Because guess what? Because we survived to trade another day, right? And we stuck to our plan. But next week I was another exciting thing coming up. Very exciting thing. Very exciting thing. I'm going to discuss that with you, Ange.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I don't even sleep anymore.
But guys, look, honestly, as I said, look, your sell position that you took, your 1-1 at least got hit, right? But until then, now what you can do is logically thinking again. You know what, let's quickly backtest this again. Let's go over a session with everyone, because like we still got 25 people watching. Let's quickly just go over a session, right? Just to show you guys, because one thing you gotta understand, if you don't go over your session, you feel like you missed out on this. But when you go over your session, you'll see this was just not your trade to take, right? And yeah, let's go over your session again. Where was the daily candle, by the way? Let's clear everything. Okay, everything's cleared out. Let's go over our session again. Cool. First of all, straight away when we came onto our session, look, there is no upper wick. You guys understand that, right? On the daily candle, there is no upper wick. Usually when candles want to push down, they want to create upper wick. Otherwise, you get something like this, which is very unusual, and it will push down and it will grab a lot of liquidity. This is when usually you grab liquidity, because you're looking to see, okay, when did the week start? Let me even give you guys more education, right? Monday, that's when the week started. Did we grab liquidity this week? No. Yes. Where's the liquidity? Below the structure. Where's your structure? Right here. So potentially, can we break this and grab liquidity and get explosive push up? This is where actually we started the uptrend from as well, right? Look at that. This was the lows where we started the uptrend from, but because we formed a new high at this point now, price needs to kind of violate the lows and grab some liquidity. Without liquidity, price cannot move. But again, where did the actual uptrend start from? The lowest low, which is all the way there. So until you actually violate this, you haven't broken the structure, have you? So this is kind of becomes your liquidity move. But again, now let's understand one more thing. Where did our session started? Our session started around up here somewhere, right? So now, did sales make sense? Look at that. Look to the left, look to the left, look to the left. Let's see this. This is a rejection area. Looking to the left, this is a support area. Look at that. Numerous rejections here. It's so cool. I was like, we don't want to execute on a sell position here now. Let's see now. What's the range to the downside again? Another rejection here. What does this range become? Usually we like at least 100 pips on. It wasn't even 100 pips, right? So now let's kind of investigate this range, 779 to 772. See what we can find within this range, right? So, okay. This becomes our range at this point now. And where is our open? Let's also mark out our open to kind of make it even easier for you guys. So this is when our session started. So cool. You're expecting a bottom wick, right? When your session opens, you want to see a nice bottom wick. So cool, price is pushing down, pushing down, pushing down. Cool. At this point, you're like, okay, the bottom wick has been created, right? This is your bottom wick formed at this point now. So now what business does price have breaking these lows unless price wants to go down, right? So that's the only business price has, breaking the lows. But again, look how tricky this becomes now, because you're approaching a key area at this point now as well. So you kind of want to see some sort of a break below this and a pullback to have the extra bit of confirmation, right? You didn't see that over here. So again, was this really a missed opportunity, or was this you just being extra careful and not taking an impulsive entry? Literally at the tap of a key area, you could have seen a massive rejection to the top side. So you're like, okay, now this was not my trade to take over here. So at this point now, this trade was not my trade to take over here. That's what you're saying, right? So let's mark this as not my trade to take. And if you guys do disagree, you guys can let us know in the comments and kind of tell us how we could have executed on this as well, right? Let's see if we can put this, let's put this here. This was not our trade to take. Now you're waiting for some sort of a pullback and a nice break to a key area, an area of significance. Look at this now. At this point now, what's the area of significance? This becomes the area of significance on the daily, on the current structure on the 1 minute time frame. You're like, okay, now if we break this area, what's the range to the downside? Again, the range to the downside is about 20 pips. And your stop loss would be a little bit bigger than 30 pips, right? So you're first of all expecting this area here to break. This is the lows of this area. If we quickly change the color, you're like, okay, you want to see a break of this, you want to see a pullback, you want to see the candle engulfing this. So you're like, okay, you just want to cash in on those 1-to-1s. You're putting your stop loss above this and just aiming for the 1-to-1. That's a successful trade at this point, right? So again, this was your successful trade if you cashed in on a 1-to-1 here. And this time the range made sense as well. But as I said, right? As I said, we don't really just aim for a 1-to-1, even though that's when we secure our positions. We want to kind of aim for those high probability setups, right? So at this point, I could have said like, okay, now what's the probability of me getting stopped out after tapping this key area? I'm like, okay, cool, price can very easily tap me out because they might want to come all the way back up to retest our area of significance, which is all the way up here. So I'm like, okay, is this really my trade to take? No. But could I have taken this trade and get a win? Yes. Very simple, right? Okay, now we're like, okay, you want to see something being formed below this, because what's the range below this, right? The range is a little bit better below this. Let's quickly go back to the daily time frame to make more sense out of this. Okay, so what's the range below this? You're like, okay, now potentially this can become your liquidity grab, and then you're tapping into this resistance area, and then from here you can start rejecting, because you look to the left and you can see usually price comes down to this area. Again, look at our first retest right here to make it easier for you guys, second retest right here, and then you also have a resistance being formed here. You're like, okay, now again this becomes your range. How big is this range? From here to there, it's like 30 pip range, right? Okay, so again, the sort of mindset I came up with in the market, I'm like, okay, I want to cash in on a nice move. Can I cash in on something like this? You're like, again, like, cool, you want to wait for a nice close below this, a retest. This becomes the area of significance at this point now, and you're waiting for the... You get what I'm saying, guys? The price action was very choppy. Yes, we could have executed on this. Again, is this my trade to take here? No. Does it make sense for me to kind of like take a trade here? No. Cool, let's see, right? You took a 1-to-1 position here now. Maybe you want to execute another position here. So let's see, how can you do that? Cool. This became the area of significance where price, you see sellers took control, right? So you're like, okay, what business does price have? Kind of like breaking this, unless like, you know, sellers are still in momentum. You see this break, you're like, okay, this is a nice break now. Let's see if you can see a nice pullback. So look, you got a nice pullback over here. And so at this point, what are you doing? You're waiting for a nice pullback. You're like, okay, this is a nice pullback now. And now you're taking an impulsive entry on the break of this. And let's see how that could have played out. You're taking this. Where are you logically putting your stop loss? Because we put our stop loss all the way above the structures, right? Can you do that? Nope. So you have to make your stop loss tight, and you put it right above this. So it's a very tight stop loss. At this point, usually our trading strategy, we understand that stop loss is at around 20 pips at average. Could we have still taken this? Could this have been a winning trade? Yes. But again, did the risk to reward make sense over here? No, it didn't make sense. So I'm trying to show you guys that we can actually execute on every single thing. We can make sense out of everything. We can execute on these tiny positions, but we are very, very disciplined. So if you don't like something, we're like, okay, it doesn't make sense, we're not going to execute on it. That's kind of what I'm trying to tell you guys, right? Look, again, did your runner do some damage after like securing your 1-to-1? Okay, your 1-to-1 got secured here. What did your runner do? Did it push down another 100 pips? No, it came down, tapped here again. That's again not your trade to take, because your risk to reward doesn't make sense. You're like, okay, now below this, What's the range like? Again, you look at the range, look at the daily candle. Once we clear that, again, you got this support area, another rejection and another resistance. See what I mean, guys? It's very, very choppy, very choppy. You have to see what's your trade, what can you take logically, and what's going to make you the most return. Yeah, but the time that these areas are breaking is a time of high volume, so we can expect price to break the zones. Yes, you can, but again, you just said it yourself. The times are very volatile, so as soon as you get a nice rejection from a strong zone and the daily candle has dropped about 200 pips, and we do understand usually gold likes to push about 200 pips in one direction, are you really looking to execute on a sell over there, below this or below this? At that point, you gotta understand gold is a volatile beast. If it wants to push down, it will push down. So you're like, okay, what's something that you can cash in on which can give you the most R to R? Because guys, it's a game of risk to reward. If you have been in the markets for a long time, and if you do data collection, which actually results in success, you have to collect data, you understand the risk to reward is the most, what's it called, it gives you the most benefit if it's positive, right? This way your risk to reward is not positive, even though you're securing one-to-ones. Can you please see the news at 4 hour?
No. Oh,
We got another news coming up, I think. So this was the news. Yeah, you have this news coming up. That's really far away. Yeah, that's
no,
far away.
way outside. And I have no more allowance.
Yeah, and also guys, yeah, that's the thing. I know there is someone called, someone said not this, taking sales now makes no sense. I know. Maybe you're saying taking sales from there made sense, right? Cool. What was the push down? Where would you say made sense to take sales? You know what? We'll do a Q&A, guys. We'll do a
The double
Q&A.
top at the top. That was it.
Here, right? Is this what you're
Between the range, you see how you have the red.
Yeah. Below this, right?
Yeah, below that.
That's what I'm saying. Other than that, you gotta understand, even though right now it looks very, very clean, because the move has happened now. Again, look at the candles. They are very choppy, very choppy. There was no clean confirmations. The only thing I can really think is that we could have executed on was, you're like, okay, you know what? At this point, bottom wick has been formed. If you get a nice break of this bottom wick and a break below this structure, just take a trade and put your stop loss above the structure and let it do its thing, right? And even though you're like, okay, cool, you're tapping into a very strong zone, but at this point, guess what? The volatility is there, and you're breaking the bottom wick again, where you can potentially be forming a double bottom as well. Look, you gotta always think about the next step. Always gotta think about the next move. What's your next move? What can potentially happen here? What can go wrong here? What can go right here? Is this a high probability setup? Let's be realistic. Us tapping a key area when there is volatility in the market, when potentially you can form another rejection here. Look at that. First turn off was this was a previous area where buyers took control, right? You understand that? We understand that now, right? Let's make sense. This was our first confirmation not to take a buy. Second confirmation to not take a buy as well, right there. Two massive confirmations. So the only safe position was literally this position here. But again, look at this. This candle rejected from the bottom. But you're like, okay, now at this point now you got the rejection and you have the upper wick. At this point now, look, sellers are again in control. Then you're asking the next question again. Cool, what if we reject here again? Because I would have asked myself all these questions because my bias was bias coming into the market, right? So I'll have all of these issues because the way we do our breakdown, they're very intense. That's why the trades that we do take are very high probability as well. So you're like asking all these questions. Could we have really logically capitalized on this? Was this really our trade to take? Could we have executed on this? Yes, we can see this as well. Like, this is very basic price action that, yeah, anyone could have executed on this. Retest, break. Everyone can do that. That's very basic price action. But the way we think, all the concepts that we have, like, you know, we understand liquidity, we understand the market cycles, we understand every single thing. At that point, you're asking the next big question. And if it doesn't make sense to take a trade there, you miss out. You should be willing to miss out. You should have no FOMO, because guess what FOMO does? It makes you blow your account up. That's what it does. You have to be very logical when it comes to thinking. And look, once you go back to your session and you backtest your session, you can see this, right? And look, at this point again, as I said, game of probability. Right here, if it breaks the lows, you're going to see a nice push down. It's very simple, very, very simple. But again, do you want to take a sell position here after gold has dropped 200 pips? No. Otherwise, it's just plain and simple FOMO. Take a trade then if you know all these things about the market. Oh man, people are so funny. Guys. I don't know what's happening here. I don't know why you guys are so, I don't know why you guys are
Very
so pissed
interesting
off.
right now.
You guys are so pissed off at me for kind of like telling you how my strategy works. How does that make sense? You guys are angry at me for
It's
telling
one day.
It's one day. We're
When
telling
this
you.
happened, we've been sitting at this for more than one day.
Yeah, oh gosh. It's so funny. Look, guys. Look, this is free education. We're literally telling you how we trade. Why are you guys getting angry? You're like, take a trade then if you know all these things. That's kind of what we are doing because we know all of these things. That's why we're not executing on this. Go back to the live streams. Go check out yesterday. Go check out the day before. Go check out Friday. We call like 400-500 pips on a Friday. That's how. Oh man, people are so funny. Some of you guys are actually so funny. I can't lie. It doesn't actually like. It's very funny. Some of you guys.
Oh wow.
Okay, how about some of you guys? You guys ask us questions, right? Let's test real questions. We're here to help you. Let's test out your psychology. Ask us some real questions. And if you're feeling like you want to be nice, drop a like on the YouTube live stream as well. We're here giving you free education now. If you want to be nice, if you feel like you want to be nice, drop a like on the YouTube live stream as well. Or go on, ask us questions. You can even criticize us. We're more than open for that. You're like, okay, listen, this is what you guys done. That was wrong. Maybe you should look into correcting that. We'll really appreciate that.
Yeah, we would. Yeah, not like all these challenges out of nowhere. If you know, then take a trade. Like, we don't gamble.
We don't gamble. That's gambling. As I said, markets will give you opportunity, but are you going to execute on every single opportunity? No. You only execute on a high probability setup. You stay within that 1 to 2 trades per day, otherwise your account gets blown up and you lose more than you intend to lose. Look what happened to me today. Technical error. I lost a lot more than what I intended to lose, way more. And that kind of messed up my whole trading day. That's what trading is. But look at this now.
It can happen to anyone.
It can happen to anyone.
Oh.
But again, look, guys, understand one thing. Let me, you know what? I'm going to give you guys this secret sauce. If you can stick to 1 to 2 trades a day for the next 6 months and become consistently profitable, basically this is what happens, right? Look, let's kind of bring back annotations. Try making, yeah, whatever works for you. There isn't a wrong strategy, but I've found the highest probability setups for me are when I have the 4-hour and daily in my direction.
And how long have you been trading?
How long have you been trading? How long have you been? That's the next question I'll ask. How long have you been trading? Because guys, just because the 4-hour and daily is bearish, that's very basic concept of trading. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but that's very basic concept of trading. You don't understand why a trade is going a certain way. You're just trading with the trend. That's what you are doing. That can work. That can most definitely work, but that's very basic concept of trading. You're like, okay, if you have other concepts aligning with it, then you are very profitable, and then that's your strategy. But for me, if you are saying that you just trade based off the daily and 4-hour going in your direction, then I'm like, listen, that doesn't work for me. But if that works for you, guess what? Trading is so relative. It's not wrong. If it works for you, well done, because trading is such a personal thing. Something might work for you, something might not work for me. This is what works for me, right? Aligning every single thing, kind of like this is how I approach the markets. I'm like, okay, this is me kind of like trying to understand a story the market is trying to tell me. So how can I understand a story? By collecting little clues. So I'm collecting little clues. Every single confirmation gives me a clue. So the more clues I have in on my side, the stronger the story becomes. So I do understand like what the next chapter can be, right? If that makes sense. Does it make sense, Ange? That's how we approach trading, right?
We are looking at every single detail.
Every
like
single
if you're
detail,
basing off like a higher time frame, you know, that's like you say 4 hour. So how many times does a 4 hour candle occur, right?
That's the thing.
But we're looking at super microscopic like details here. And as someone who's looking at many different microscopic details every single minute, you know, you're human, right? Those every tick, every candle can like trigger an emotion or whatever.
Exactly. You gotta understand, this is the most intense way of trading. That's why you need to have so many conferences. That's why this is so intense as well. Because look, every candle triggers an emotion. We are humans. We are not machines. Every candle triggers an emotion. But once you have those confluences, that builds confidence as well. Every candle can also look. What is confidence? Confidence at the end of the day is emotion, energy in motion, right? So even this can even give you confidence to take a trade. And if it's a high probability setup, guess what? Win. That's a win. That's what I was saying. We all have our own ways of trading. I start at the daily and 4 hour. I take my entries of 15-minute and 30-minute closes. Below or above zones, I have marked not just one thing. That is your candle you were looking for to buy, right? Probability again, see, so many concepts come into play. Look at the probability. It's just not one candle we're looking for. Yeah, this is one candle. Okay, cool. What's the probability? Let's work out the probability now. Where do usually sellers take control? Right there. Have we broken that? Nope. What are we doing? We're within this range, coming to the top side of the range, down side of the range,
This
top
is
side
like
of
the top of the range, so technically
yeah. We would never buy here. It's not just about one candle. So much that goes into the equation. Why would I just take a buy here because I see an engulfing bullish candle? Again, very basic concept of trading, right? But yeah, I know the way you trade is the way Raja trades, right? And he's very profitable. So yeah, if you can make it work.
Yeah, it sounds like Raja's trade.
Yeah. So like playing zone to zone. Yeah, ours is zone to zone as well, but it also includes like, you know, other concepts as well. You have your smart money concepts, like order blocks, everything comes into the play, and this is like micro scalping turn into your intraday trade. So that's what it is. We turn our micro scalps into intraday trades. That's what we do. That's how our strategy works, right? On 29, PA actually did what Dan was expecting. Today it was strongly bearish in London, but NY reverse retraced at least 100 pips. Yeah, that's the thing. Look, not every day you're going to be right, but when you are right, we can just execute on our trades. But that's the thing, right? If you feel like you're going to come into the markets and be right 100% of the times, then the sort of expectations you have are not realistic. You need to backtest your strategy, make sure you have the edge in the market, and honestly, just stick to it.
Make sense right there.
There we go, blue seal. That seems like this man has been in the game for a while. He's making sense.
Yeah.
And it depends session to session, day to day, exactly. It's very, again, just like trading is such a personal thing, every single day brings its own challenges. That's why not every single day your 4 hours gonna work, your daily is gonna work, but this is micro scalping. This can every single day work if the probability is on your side, because the probability can be on your side every single minute. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say? It's a game of probability. The trading is a game of probability. Minute time frame allows me to have probability on my side every single minute. If I was trading anything above this, I'll have probability on my side after 30 minutes. If I was trading a 30-minute time frame, I'll have probability on my side after 1 hour if I was trading the 1 hour time frame. But because I trade the 1 minute time frame, the probability is on my side. But again, I'm not trading this blindly. I have my confluences from top down analysis, which we do every single day. And we do an intense breakdown at the end of the week, see what the markets have done. We do also an intense analysis session at the start of the week to see what we are expecting, and more time it goes to the T. What I can do is I can even make my private videos public, like, you know, the ones I give out to my private members. We actually did analysis and you'll see exactly everything happened to the T. Remember the one I posted, Ange, and I made it unlisted? We can even do that to show you guys, yeah, it does work out. But you need to understand, guys, trading, what is the meaning of trading? If your setup didn't show up, you need to be willing to miss out. Not every day it will give you a trade, even though every day we do trade, but we still do understand that every single day will not be a winning day. Every single day will not give you a trade. But what you can do every single day is kind of like manage your risk and have patience, have your emotions under control. That's a winning day in my opinion. And watch the damage we're going to do next week. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to even make it more transparent. I'm going to show you guys every single day. Like, look, this is the returns we have made today. This is the returns we have made tomorrow. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you guys some more stuff next week, just to show you guys how we trade and show you how we'll do all of that in front of your eyes. Every single thing will be done in front of your eyes. I'll do that from next week, actually, just to make it even easier on my side, just so you guys don't have these questions like, why are you not taking this trade? Why are you not taking that trade? Any other question, guys? Any good questions that are valuable for you, go ahead, ask us. Otherwise, we can call it a day, come back tomorrow and catch some pips.
Yeah, we have some secrets to discuss right now.
Oh, we got a lot of stuff for planning. Honestly. Day by day, guys, we're getting better. You gotta understand. Every single day we approach the markets, we're seeing something we did not see or understood a day before. Literally every day we get better, because we every day get better. What happened after Fed announced tapering? What happens after Fed announced tapering? You tell me. Is gold gonna be bullish or bearish? It depends. Look, you gotta understand one thing about gold. What runs gold? Investors run gold. Investors. It depends on investors, right?
Oh my gosh, this is
I've been around long enough. Today could have been strongly bullish no matter what H4 did in London. News and FOMC decided otherwise. At least your bias was right. Exactly. If you have been watching our live stream long enough, you'll understand that probably 90% or 95% of the time we are very accurate with our analysis, but we'll get that one day we're like, okay, you know what, price did something that we did not expect. Even though we could have capitalized on it, we are disciplined enough to not go against our bias. As I said, our strategy is very fluid. We could have taken many trades, but because our analysis are 90% of the times accurate, we rather stick to the stats.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than go against the stats. Why would I want to go against my own personal analysis, which I know are always accurate? And today I want to be like, you know what, selling momentum is too much for my analysis to play out. That's me shattering my confidence for tomorrow. I'm like, listen, today my bias was biased, but because they were selling momentum, I just took sells. I'm like, tomorrow I'm going to be confused. Like, should I stick to my old bias or should I just see what the momentum is? That's you confusing yourself and not sticking to that one strategy and one system. That's why so many people fail in this industry, because they can't stick to one thing. They jump from mentors to mentors. They jump from one strategy to another strategy. All they gotta do is stick to one strategy, perfect that strategy, become profitable, and then the potential is insane. You can become funded, get up to 400k literally with Ftmo. Imagine making 10% return on investment on 400k account. That's 40k. That's way more than what someone working at some average job can make, right? In January 2014, once Fed announced tapering, gold went bullish 15%. So today maybe we could see history repeat itself. I mean, yeah, history can definitely repeat itself, but yeah, most definitely. This might just be the pullback because before we get the announcement, right? So most definitely. Do you trade the news or wait after it? Yeah, we trade NFP most of the time, and NFP gives us a lot of moves most of the times. Anyway, guys, it seems like, you know what, We're gonna go over some more things now with my team, but we'll be back tomorrow again. It was very nice talking to you guys. If you guys have any more questions for me, just hit me up on Insta. But yeah, you guys saw we were very patient today. Our trade didn't show up. We also showed you logically why we did not execute on sell, so hopefully that made sense for you guys. But again, something like this plays out again next time. Guess what? We'll see if we can maybe execute on this and just call it a day in one trade, right? So yeah, something like this we'll definitely work on. And yeah guys, if you have any sort of questions for us, let us know on Insta. My Insta is in the description below, and we're gonna call it a day now. We'll be back tomorrow. Make sure you guys tune in. Hopefully we can catch 100 pips tomorrow. So peace, have a lovely